Yevgeny Prigozhin was on the passenger list of a jet which crashed, killing all of the passengers on board, Russia's Civil Aviation Authority has said. Most likely, this means he has died in the crash, in which all of those on board have been pronounced dead. The crash comes on the same day that senior Russian general Sergei Surovikin was reportedly sacked as Air Force chief. General Surovikin was known to have good relations with Prigozhin and had not been seen in public since the mutiny. Prigozhin headed the mutiny on the 23rd and 24th of June, moving his troops from Ukraine, seizing the southern Russian city of Rostov-on-Don, and threatening to march on Moscow. To discuss this further, we are joined by Mr. Sergei Sumlenne, director at the European Resilience Initiative Center. Good morning and welcome to TVP World.
Good morning. Thank you for having me today.
So what is your opinion about the plane crash in which Yevgeny Prigozhin is to have perished? Was it an accident or an assassination?
Well, it looks like the famous window of opportunities opened for Prigozhin pretty wide, and he didn't miss a chance to use it. I think that with a large probability it was an assassination by Vladimir Putin, or I think it was sanctioned directly by Vladimir Putin, because he's the only person who can really sanction something like that. There are pretty strong evidences that air defense has been involved in this assassination. At least, this is what openly been said at Wagner closed media channels like Grey Zone. And the media channels alone would not be sufficient for this accusation, but we have seen a video, and this video has been confirmed as authentic by Russian state-owned agencies. And this video shows the moment of the plane crash, and we clearly see a very strange pattern on condensed trails behind the plane crashing, which resemble a lot usage of anti-air missile. And in addition, a person who was filming the event says that she has heard 2 explosions before the plane crashed. So we can assume that at least one missile has hit Prigozhin's plane. And if this was the case, it was a very spectacular assassination, which rhymes in the spectacularity with the spectacularity of the mutiny itself. So a huge crime against Vladimir Putin, as he sees it, seizure of a city, humiliation of the Russian army, should have deserved a spectacular assassination. I think that was the case.
So now, just to add on that, after his march on Moscow, Prigozhin was in Belarus, then reportedly he was recently seen in Africa, and now it appears he has died in a plane crash over Russia. Is it maybe also because he became useless for Putin?
Well, there are not that much evidences that Prigozhin really spent his time between the mutiny and his death outside of Russia. Quite the opposite. Of course, there were videos from Africa, there were some videos from Belarus, but mostly his plane, we could track his plane on flight radar system and others. It was flying between Moscow and Petersburg. He also visited high-rank events like Africa Summit in Russia. And that is not what people do when they want to go below the radars, when they want to disappear. So I think that Prigozhin wanted to get back into Putin's inner circle after the mutiny. I think he wanted to present himself very vulnerable. Look, I'm here, I'm in Moscow, I'm in Petersburg, I don't hide, I attend all your events, I don't say anything against you anymore. You can kill me anytime. Look, I'm not a danger for you anymore. But it means nothing. In Russia, no deal with Putin means anything. No sign of loyalty means anything. When Putin thinks you need to be destroyed, you will be destroyed in Russia. And I think that is what happened. Regarding if he was useless or not, he was not. That is important to understand. He was the founder of Wagner Group. He wasn't an owner of Wagner Group. Wagner Group was founded by Dmitry Utkin, who has died allegedly on the same plane, and Wagner Group was funded by the Russian budget. Prigozhin was only a face of Wagner for the last months, and he was an owner of a financial vehicle which was used to like anonymize Russian state money before they got transferred to Wagner. So Prigozhin himself was more or less useless all the time. He could have been easily replaced by another businessman. The only time when he was really useful was when he started to conscript inmates from Russian prisons. And Prigozhin, as a former inmate, he could really find a common language with these people, and he could really spark them, and he could really win their heart. And that was the moment when he was used for Putin, when he was useful for Putin. But that was also the moment when Prigozhin started to believe that he can be a leader of a large political group. And that was the moment when he started to be dangerous for Putin. And that was actually the moment of his decline, not the moment when he seized Rostov, but the moment before, when he started to believe that he can be an independent politician in Russia while being funded by Russian state money and while being like used as a vehicle for running a state-owned and state-funded mercenary group.
So now you mentioned other independent politicians in Russia. So now what is the message that this sends to, let's say, for example, the opponents of Vladimir Putin in Russia?
I think it is a strong signal to Putin's inner circle and to all these generals and ministers who want to replace Vladimir Putin. Surovikin is not seen anymore since months. Prigozhin is dead. Utkin is dead. We don't know who else will fall out of a window or die in a car crash or a heart attack in the next weeks. And I think it is a strong signal for the opponents of Vladimir Putin. But for the world, I think it is more or less a sign of weakness of Vladimir Putin. Because when you get as a dictator into a situation when you need to shut down from the sky 200 kilometers from your capital a plane of a person who challenged you, that is not a good sign. Of course, Vladimir Putin relatively improves his position, eliminating his opponents or potential opponents inside of his inner circle, but in absolute numbers, his position is got more weak, because you cannot be called a strong person when the only way to survive for you is to burn everything around of you in your own capital with napalm.
So now, does this mean political instability inside Russia? And where does this leave the Russian campaign in Ukraine?
I think that the seed of temptation that Prigozhin saw in the hearts of the Russian local leaders 2 months ago, as he demonstrated them that it is possible to seize a local city, a million seat. It is possible to march to Moscow. It is possible to face no fighting sides from the Russian army. I think that this temptation is still alive. I think for Vladimir Putin it was important to cut this temptation, to demonstrate that you will not get unpunished. Like, I will find you sooner or later. But this punishment is still too it's too far in timeline. Prigozhin was not punished the same moment when he left his plans. So I think the temptation is still strong, and we can see other attempts of ethnic leaders, of regional leaders, who would start to test the limits of what is allowed, what is not. Maybe not with such radical means like seizing a city, but with sabotaging some federal laws, with sabotaging some Putin's laws, Putin's orders, etc. And the defeat of Russia in Ukraine is not disappeared. The desperation of the Russian army is not disappeared. The fear of the Russian generals to be defeated is not disappeared. So the objective reasons for unrest are still here. With such things like killing Prigozhin or arresting Surovikin, Putin can, in a short perspective, he can cool it down, but he cannot get out of this problem. The problem is still here.
So now, do you think we might see a change in tactic in Putin's war in Ukraine after this crash?
Well, there are not that much options left for Putin in tactics in Ukraine, and we know that he has swapped many generals. Surovikin, Nazintsev, Gerasimov, others. Like Prigozhin's tactic to meat storm Ukrainian cities has not helped them a lot. Mass bombardments of Ukraine have not helped. Now they are in defense position, and the Ukrainians are advancing slow, with with much casualties, but they're advancing. So for the Russians, the only way possible to protect what they have won, what they have conquered, is to find somewhere an additional army of 200,000 people, to find additional tanks, to find skilled officers. They don't have anything of that. So I think in tactics there will be nothing changed, like more minefields, more attempts to bombard Ukrainian cities, more attempts to undermine the unity of the Western allies. I think this where they will invest a lot. But generally, I don't think there will be a change on the field.
So now you also mentioned the death of the senior Wagner commander Dmitry Utkin. What does this now mean for Wagner?
I think the death of Utkin is maybe more important even than the death of Prigozhin himself, because Utkin was the military mastermind of this company. And of course, look, we know from the Taliban history, and the Americans tried to hit the commanders of Taliban using drones, and they found out after several years that when you kill the high-ranked commanders, then their deputies or deputies of their deputies, who were talented people but could not be promoted as long as the commander is alive, they got promoted and the unit got stronger. So killing the head is not always a way. That's why the US Americans stopped this practice after several years, because they found out that the system survives and more talented commanders got promoted, and that's not what they wanted to achieve. But in this case, I think it will not be this development, because we are facing now, in the case of Wagner, we are facing decline of Wagner as an entity. Of course, they will not be funded by the way they used to be funded before. They will not be provided by weapons like tanks, IFVs, even attack helicopters and planes and jets. Don't forget, they got attack helicopters and jets during the last summer. And they could hire retired pilots to fly their own air force. So this all is over. And with the death of the founding father of Wagner, Dmitry Utkin, and with the cancellation of mass funding and providing of hard equipment to the Wagner Group cannot exist anymore. I think that the inmates, a part of them will retire, will go back to Russia, and will spread violence, rape, torture, and murder, what they always did. We already see these signs, but these signs will get more numerous. And the others will be absorbed by other fighting units, by the Russian army, by some other semi-private, state-owned groups like Rusich, or the Russian, all these nationalistic Russian battalions which are fighting on the Russian side, on the swastikas. So they will be adopted there. But the glory and power of 25, 30,000 men strong Wagner group with tanks, IFVs, artillery, rocket artillery, jets, and attack helicopters is over.
All right. Thank you very much for your insight today here on TVP World. Our guest was Mr. Sergei Sumlenny, Director at the European Resilience Initiative Center. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And that's all from me here on these World Talks. But as always, do stay tuned to TVP World for more breaking news and updates.
Jonas Shrevinsky, and you're watching Break the Fake. They make them, we break them, and tell you all you need to know. Our good old bunker grandpa, Vladimir Putin himself, appeared via video link yesterday on the 22nd of August to address the attendees of the BRICS Business Forum in Johannesburg, South Africa, just ahead of the main gathering of delegates from the five-nation bloc. But here is a nice tidbit. As reported by the Kremlin press pool, the Business Forum address was delivered in a voice that was not Putin's, but somebody else's. No explanation has been provided, but curiously enough, the speech is available in the original, correctly voiced version on the Kremlin's official website.
Государственные структуры бизнеса, экспертов и отраслевых специалистов, которые собрались на встречу делового форума в рамках БРИКС. Отмечу, что регулярное проведение таких деловых форумов, как и системная работа делового совета БРИКС, объединяющего ведущих бизнесменов и глав крупнейших компаний стран пятерки, действительно играет большую практическую роль в продвижении.
Дамы и господа, дорогие друзья, рад приветствовать представителей государственных структур бизнеса, экспертов и отраслевых специалистов, которые собрались на встречу делового форума в рамках БРИКС. Отмечу, что регулярное проведение таких деловых форумов, как и системная работа делового совета БРИКС, объединяющего ведущих бизнесменов и глав крупнейших компаний стран пятерки, действительно играет большую практическую роль в продвижении взаимной торговли и инвестиций.
That video made me think he was voiced by Jabba the Hutt, speaking Russian. Anyway, Vladimir Putin must have decided against an in-person appearance at the BRICS summit. His plans for a trip to South Africa were complicated by an arrest warrant that the International Criminal Court issued against him back in March for his involvement in the deportation of Ukrainian children to Russia. South African authorities have not explicitly said that Putin would be arrested following his arrival, but made it clear that the country was bound by its obligations under the Rome Statute. So I guess things might have got a little bit awkward if he decided to pay the country a visit after all. Now, yesterday, a man who looks like Vladimir Putin had an eventful and exhausting couple of days. The obvious body double recorded several video messages on behalf of the Kremlin autocrat before appearing via video link at the Council for Strategic Development and National Projects. You may ask, why do we think it was an obvious double? Well, this guy didn't even get the hand that Comrade Tsar wears his watch on correctly. What's up, guys? Why the sudden drop in quality of the propaganda you're pumping out? Did you suddenly forget how to lie to people or something? Because this stuff is hilarious. And you know, it's not like Emmanuel Macron trying to hide an expensive watch. He was always known for his love of luxury timepieces. Anyway, moving on. The online news service Belsat.eu reports that Belarusian national Ihar Papul has been tried and sentenced for speaking out against the regime. Now, in her verdict, Judge Valentina Zienkiewicz pronounced the defendant guilty of publishing slanderous statements online denouncing Minsk's potato prince, Alexander Lukashenko, and various other regime officials. The 54-year-old Papo was then sentenced to indefinite psychiatric hold in a closed facility. This begs the question, who in this whole affair should be committed? A man who seems to be a beacon of reason in a madhouse, the sentencing judge, or perhaps the very architect of this insane system, the very potato king who seems to be showing a lot of paranoid symptoms, such as his delusional belief in an imminent Polish attack against Belarus. Well, food for thought. Now, former Trump advisor and retired US Army Colonel Douglas McGregor has come out commenting on the combat capabilities of the United States and NATO in general, claiming that neither is ready to fight the Russians. So, where did he deliver his ominous predictions? On the show of one of the Kremlin's favorite clowns, Tucker Carlson himself. Let's take a look.
They have over 300,000 combat troops in reserve in Russia. And I think they're sitting there and not being released to fight because President Putin anticipates the possibility that we will intervene in Western Ukraine. And if we intervene in Western Ukraine, the Russians will be ready for that. And the consequences for us and for NATO will be devastating because we are not ready to fight the Russians.
Why?
Oh, I think the readiness has been on the decline for a long time.
Hey yo.
You've had
Man,
an
it's-
almost
it's so
steady,
fucking hot,
uninterrupted
holy shit.
decline in the discipline that makes soldiers fight. Discipline is a tough thing. We don't always understand it. Discipline is
Fair.
really a form of habit. And you build those habits over time through repetition, but you also build it under stress, under pressure, so that it sinks in. And then you build cohesion within the framework of those units. You don't
Okay.
build
A
cohesion
bit hot in
when
it.
you're dividing
I
the
actually,
force
I brought,
on racial grounds. When
I
you're
have
pushing
cold
people
coffee.
who are clearly
Check this out.
unqualified up the
I
ranks
I
to
made
command.
myself cold
When
coffee.
you're rewarding people for anything other than demonstrating
this.
character, competence,
And I
intelligence.
brought it upstairs.
All of those things are
And then I
demoralizing,
noticed
destructive
that
to military
all of
systems.
my ice has melted.
Army and the
That's why
Marines
I
are
started the
suffering
second
with it.
video. I
So
went
is the Air
downstairs
Force
just
and the
now
Navy.
to put more
And there's
ice
no
in my
easy
fucking
fix.
coffee.
And these cracks,
Like I'm gonna
they're
fucking
just
die.
cracks
It's
at the moment, will
disgusting.
become giant
It's
fissures
32
if
at the
overruled.
moment.
So what the guy is saying is
Uh-huh.
that we're not ready. We're not ready to fight all those rusty.
Now what's the best thing though? Sorry, blocky dude. Now what's the best thing? It feels like everyone's going mad because it's so hot. No one can really handle it well. Today at the job, I had few situations where the customers were like, "Oh, it's so fucking hot," and I would be like, "Yeah, it really, really is." And they would be like, "Did you see anything in the news about it getting colder soon?" And I haven't. I saw the news about it getting hotter during the weekend, but I didn't want to tell them because, you know, they're already melting. So I was like, oh no, I don't really follow the weather reports. Did you look at them? And every single one of them goes, oh no, I haven't really followed. I just heard that it's going to get colder one of these days. And I'm like, yeah, you fucking liar. You're doing the same thing I'm doing. You're lying to yourself, you're lying to me, you're lying to everyone. He says the weather report says colder on next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, my dude, that's it. Nothing until next Tuesday. I'm hoping it rains there on Saturday because that means rain here in 4 days, which could be Tuesday, Wednesday, right? That's approximately. I know my father, whenever he calls, he talks about the weather, and usually it's like 4 days difference between what happens in Germany and what happens here. Putin could sit in that heat in a suit, hugging his pet bear and not sweat. Maybe his pet bear is like a mini fridge, actually. You don't know. Maybe it's a frozen bear. Maybe the bear was taken out of the permafrost. Ha, you don't know that. But by the way, guys, happy Independence Day to Ukraine. How good was yesterday? Holy shit. How good was yesterday? How good was Thompson stream? How much did you enjoy it? I've had some beers. I've had a few beers. It was the time of my life. Him watching Grisha cry about Prigo. Man, the satisfaction. Holy shit, was that good. Holy crap. Grisha crying made you feel a little bad. Not me, my man, not me. Ah, it made me feel good. Oh, made me feel good. Dude, that was good. Then I remembered why he's crying. Yeah, that was so good. And then also Thompson laughing his ass off about it and then being posted on like Twitter. Man, that was so fucking good. The memes are golden. I'm still seeing people for some reason making conspiracies about this. Do I want to find? Can I find like sub? Listen, I've heard a great conspiracy. I saved a bunch of posts. Holy shit! I think my Prigozhin posts are hidden. By the way, someone asked about. Fuck! Wait, where was it? There was a message in chat somewhere. Someone asked about the USA Republican debate about question on Ukraine. If you have a link to that, I would love to see it because I've been seeing. What did I see? I saw the debate part on climate change. when one of them is really stupid on climate change, but I can't figure out who that is. I keep on seeing that dude mentioned, but I learned about his existence now. So like everyone's talking about him, and I feel very out of the loop. There's way too many of them. There's way too many of them. Visegrad posted Grisha. Hey, yeah, Misa. Russia finally eliminated the first confirmed Nazis in the conflict. Man, Grisha's chat. Holy shit, it was good. Holy shit, it was good. Just this was so okay. I was so fucking happy for this. Look at this fucker. Hey, also Biden. Have you seen Biden? Look at this man.
What I drink, what I wrote in. I don't know for a fact what happened, but I'm not surprised.
Do you believe
is now one of us?
Yes, of course. Biden got it. I know, right? I saw him and I was like, damn. Damn. Rule over me, daddy. Holy shit. One comment in his chat that didn't get deleted. Big boys don't cry. Man, it was so good. Oh, holy shit. It was such a good day. And then today also seems to be going well so far. We got... Now it is Russia, so don't trust Russia ever. Okay, but we got official confirmation, supposedly, of Prigozhin getting toasted. So that's good. Apparently some Wagner dudes identified him. And we also got confirmation that Ukrainian military has entered Crimea. Apparently, they killed a bunch of Russian soldiers and then went back. So that was good. That was fucking good. I'm trying to find a specific post on it. Also, come on. Oh yeah, my words are. I got punished for breaking not TOS. Copyright. I broke copyright by playing music on stream. So my VODs are not publishing on Twitch normally. So we are streaming on YouTube at the same time to have the VODs stored there. That's basically what's happening there. There was a debate yesterday. Where was the debate yesterday? What was the debate yesterday? He's with Hitler in Argentina. Ah, shit, Hitler is still alive. How old would he be by now? Damn. Damn. Old ass man, holy shit. Wait, I wanna find the cream thing specifically, and then we're gonna watch all the thank you videos, and then we have so many things to watch. I saved so many good links for you. You have to go and watch them. Okay, you have to. Also this, holy shit, have you seen this? I'm trying really hard not to what's the word? Change the topic. But like, my dude, there's the Ukrainian hymn and people commenting, like, he only allows people to comment, which are the people he mentioned, which are like the highest ranking politicians we got, and holy shit, they actually all did respond. Man, come on, like, fucking polarity working. 134. Our source at the Artists Union of Argentina reports that Prigozhin's presence has not been recorded. Artists Union. Artists fucking Union. Damn, okay, fair. Oh yeah, have you also seen this? Russia Today. Cases of myocarditis and pericarditis have been observed following receipt of COVID-19 vaccines. Evidence from multiple monitoring systems around the globe supports association between mRNA COVID-19 vaccines. Basically, they're claiming Prigozhin pilot had post-vaccine heart issues, and then because of this, he caused the crash. Man, they're going balls deep into conspiracy territory. I adore them. I heard one sub yesterday say that he doesn't believe this was Russian air defense system, because Russians wouldn't shoot at their own, because Prigozhin was very valuable to Russians, right? And then someone was like, no, it had definitely had to be like a hit. It couldn't have been a bomb inside the plane. And the Serb was like, oh yeah, well, maybe it was a hit, but what if Ukrainians smuggled their own air defense system over the border into Russia and then placed it in the field and then toasted Prigozhin with it? Think about that. Think about that. He had COVID, was blown up by a bomb inside, shot down by rocket, everything, my man, everything. Also this one clip, check out this.
Россия! Украина пыталась убить Пригожина, они его объявляли врагом номер один, но все западные разведки пытались его ликвидировать, но мы, русские, сами сделали.
На месте.
Россия! Украина пыталась убить.
Like, yeah. Oh, but also, fuck, holy shit, we need to go through all of these. I don't know if they posted something actually for every nation, because if there's one for Croatia, I'm just going to jump off a bridge. I can't believe that they made this already. It's so good. There's so many of them. They made one for every single country. Holy shit, like, come on, how cool is that? How cool is that? Just, we gotta go through them. We're gonna go through them all. I haven't seen all, but we have to go through them. They will blame Ukraine. I did already see the conspiracy that Prigozhin's plane was apparently last time on maintenance. What was it? Like a few months ago? A month ago? Something relatively recently, and they're claiming that during this maintenance, it was possible to plant a bomb on it. So the idea is basically that if you claim that the bomb was set before, you could be blaming Ukrainians, of course, because, you know, you can't really know who did it. You can't really know when it has happened. I haven't seen Putin comment on it. I have not seen Putin comment on it at all. I did see, though, Solovyov. Where is it? No, did I save it? Has to be one of these posts. Solovyov is very vague on this. Vague, holy shit. Like Icarus. He's very vague on this, and I think it's because he doesn't know what to say. The comment was basically that he still hasn't gotten the script. So that's why he is being very careful about what he says. Oh, here it is. He hasn't received instructions. He still doesn't know what to say because they haven't told him. So he's like going around it, and he's, you know, waiting to hear what's the theory he should be pursuing.
Путин абсолютный прагматик. Вот абсолютный в этих вопросах. Путин никогда ничего не делает к дате. Заметьте, впрямую были даны указания не жертвовать войсками, чтобы не брать к знаковым датам знаковые объекты. Это было и при
Is there gonna be the meme where they're all Prigozhin in different wigs?
И при взятии Артемовска. Никогда. Путин вообще абсолютно от этого далек. Поэтому никакой угрозы Путину Вагнер не представлял. Путин дал слово, он их простил. Путин никогда не был замечен в том, чтобы он нарушил данное слово. Путин человек репутации.
But basically, you know what it is. You figure the whole thing. Like, okay, Putin's so good, Putin's so great, big, me. So yeah. Let me see. Rip this piece of shit. The Wagner dude who identified this man, apparently he identified his body based on tattoos, because he had a bunch of Nazi tattoos around. Piece of shit. Just some dude, Chekalov, I don't know who Chekalov is, but another one of his pieces of shit. I've seen someone, Yevgeny, I don't know who that is. Pustin Totmina. One woman has died. Have you guys seen? I don't know where's the list of people who died. People are claiming, I've seen Serbs claiming one of them was a Serb. Is a Serb? Was a Serb? I don't know which one it would be. But like, I've seen Serbs saying that one of them was that, and I was like, what? What? And I keep on seeing them talk about it and make jokes about it, but like I haven't yet seen them actually reveal which one it was. It's like there's a meme in Serb society about the Serb dude who is a Wagner member, high-ranking Wagner member, and we're all supposed to know who he is. Serb saying everyone is a Serb, that's also true. Even Tesla. How it started, how it's going. What a fucking loser. What a fucking loser, man. Look at him. Just put the war criminal, holy shit. And ironically though, yeah, spot the person not allowed to go into former Yugoslav states. You know how many Serbs I know? Not even like family members. Let's say kinda friends of family members who are not allowed to come into Croatia because the second they cross the border they're gonna be arrested because of war crimes they did. To be fair, I know like 2 Croatians with the same... Do we call it an issue? I don't know if it's an issue, but like they don't dare to go into Serbia because they're on the list of war criminals in Serbia. So yeah, when I find war criminals around you, just get them to travel abroad. Be like, hey dude, I'm taking you out for a nice little weekend out in this neighboring country. You wanna come with me? Observe the reaction. You're an issue? I am an issue actually. I'm a problem. What is that? Holy shit, I saw XCOM. I saw you're sending some porn thing. Bro, why does it say Twittercom sometimes and then it says XCOM sometimes? I just went through the rest of the links and so many of them are saying Twitter? Well, like yours is saying X, oh, dude. You're picky. You got cute part of Twitter. You got the cute part of Twitter. And I've got normal part of Twitter. You have the weird one. This is like your boomer aunt's Facebook page. That's what it is. What my boomer aunt is watching too. Yeah, it's like cute animals, isn't it? It's there's this one image that they repost every few months, the one with like there's a dog and there's a cat and there's a little duck, and they're like sitting next to each other looking cute, and all the boomer aunts repost that image every few months, and the caption is always something like, oh, you will find friends where you least expect it or something. So now whenever I see a cute animal anywhere, I'm like, my aunt would fucking share this 20 times. Every single time she sees that image, she shares it. At this point, I know if I open Facebook right now, it's gonna be her sharing that fucking image. But I want to show you. Wait. We had to go through these. Okay? And hope that we get one of important countries in it, and that we don't get just, you know, the fucking losers. Oh, holy shit! Thank you for the sub. Thank you. How good is this? Oi. Oi. Okay, fair. I already got copyright strike. They can't do shit to me anymore. They already hit me. They already got me.
Our love is here to stay. Not for a year, whatever end a day. The radio,
Aww.
the telephone, and the movies that we know.
Oh, these are so good.
May just be passing fancy, and in time may go. But oh my dear, love is here to stay. Together we're going a long, long way.
Bro.
In time the Rockies may crumble and Gibraltar it may tumble. They're only made of clay. But our love
Aww.
is here to stay. Come fly with me, let's fly away.
Oh, fair. Do they do this with all of them? Do they do this with every single one? Nice.
How do you know when to use it? Well, what?
I don't. Dirty than me.
No, I was just kidding. How do you know when to use it? Well, simple. When it's cold out, right? Okay, the other topic.
Wait, I thought I was the expert.
That was fair. Hey! Oh! Oh, this song! What song is this? What is this? Fuck! Yeah, right? We listened to it, definitely. Man, what song is that? Wait, I have to find the song. I have to find the fucking song. Estonia song? Dylan! Yes! That one! The Forest Brothers. Yeah. Do you guys know about the Forest Brothers? Ja.
Sest sinus õstramus tad silmad on võitnud minu südame. Aitša, ailele, me metsa vennad oleme. Aitša, ailele, me metsa vennad.
It's still 32 degrees. Also, best flag, by the way. Best flag of Europe. Man, I love them. I love them. Their songs are so good. They have so many good ones. They don't have one on Forest Brothers specifically? I definitely thought they had. Oh, okay, they kinda do. It kinda is mostly about them. But yeah, they were basically fighting against the Soviets. He was fighting against the Soviet occupation. So, incredibly brave people, incredibly good part of their history. What do you mean it says 25 here? It's 25 where you are. It's 32 where I am, but it's 25 where you are. But you're like half an hour away from me. Hour? How? Why? Are you flexing with your AC? Because if you're flexing with your AC, I'm gonna fucking ban you from existing. I have just figured you're probably just bullying me around. Little bitch. Little bitch boy. And I'm cruel. Why do I have these? Just evil. 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 I'm fucking melting. How many things did Spain send? Yeah, Iron's trolling Grisha, because he was a little bitch. Oh shit, yeah, air defense! Nice! Thank you, Spain, you are my best friend. You are the peacekeeper, you are the legend. The nature and almighty God have already trolled the degenerate. Through the... Bro, imagine finding your father figure in a fucking Prigozhin. The cosmos itself has united just to shit on Grisha. But yeah, where's that tweet? This tweet? How it started, how it's going. There's one really good tweet. With a clip of Grisha crying and Thompson laughing. Andrew Tate. Oh shit, I don't even know if I want to check. Wait, let me see. Let me see if it's something not safe or back. Let me see if it's something. Fuck, I don't even see him trending. If I go to the other normal part of Twitter. Andrew Tate. Oh, it's I'm seeing him wanting to squash the beef with Greta. Is it that?
Let's squash the beef. I'm sorry. I'm on your team. I'm gonna take a jet to Sweden and we're gonna talk about it. I'm gonna jet back the same day. So we can plan how to make sure that the losers at the bottom don't eat meat and eat the bugs and live in the pods. Then I might jet over to LA, have a conversation with Leonardo.
He's just doing one of his like dumbass videos, I guess. There's something delusional is a good way to say it. There's something delusional about this little roach thinking Greta would give enough of a shit about him to like even go and meet him out in person. Like I don't know what he thinks when he says, yeah, I'm gonna go fly out to meet you. I don't know how much he thinks normal people care about that. But I assume for anyone outside of his already existing circle of fans, everyone would be like, why? Why would you go? Why would you meet this dude? He's fucking useless. My man, there's like no point to his existence. He hasn't had a good opinion on anything ever. He is a fucking criminal. Like, why? Why would we? No, I don't know. The idea that Greta would meet him is just ridiculous by itself. Hey, France, by the way, did we already see this one? Didn't they post this one previously? I'm pretty sure this one existed on their channel previously. France got the old video, there's something quite enjoyable about it. They deserve this. Aww. Please send this one. Man, I love them. I love it how they're like, yeah, I really, we are really grateful for the help. Also give us more. Encourages people to exploit others. There is something to say about the fact that like, he has the idea he's gonna go to Greta, and immediately when he and Greta chill around, they're going to be making losers eat bugs. You know, I know he meant it as a joke. There's just something interesting about it. Like, of the amount of influence he thinks he would be having in any sort of a universe. Number 1 PR departments. Man, they're great. They're fucking great. I love them. It's that, and this war, you're gonna see this war in your school books, okay? This war's gonna be in fucking school books. They're going to be dissecting everything Ukraine had been doing. Oh, I've never heard this one. Aww. Okay, fair, iPads. Fair. May I just remind you that Putin couldn't go to the BRICS meeting because he was scared he's gonna get arrested. So the fact Ukraine is doing this, man, I don't know, it just feels like a huge slap in the face. Like, hey Russia, with your crumbling international relationships, look at what we can do. Aww. Hi. I don't know this song. Why wouldn't they have tanks for flat ground? You just go. I mean, I guess I think part of keeping your defense budget proper and your you know, military well equipped is also coming from the fact that they will need to be helping if NATO ever gets invaded. Yeah, so I don't really think, even despite the fact that they will likely never be invaded themselves, right? It's still good to maintain a healthy amount of tanks, because if your NATO allies get invaded, you will be of lots of help. So I guess that's how I'm seeing it, you know? like if you're aware that you're in no danger of being invaded anytime soon, maybe you could just be a very strong player in the scene when it comes to saving others. Kind of like what USA is doing. No one's gonna go and attack USA. Oh. Yeah. If you try, they went, if you try to cook this in Italy, the police can catch you. It's illegal. Yay! Nice. Oh, nice. That was great. Nice. I think, in a way, see it in a way that, for example, take Russia right now, okay? What happened with Azerbaijan blocked the Latin corridor for Armenia? What happened is Armenia went to Russia, and Armenia was like, Russia, come on, help us. Like, our people there are likely starving. We need to go and save them. Russia, help us. And Russia responded with, meh. And this, in a way, turned Armenia against Russia, away from Russia. They had few protests at the time, which were questioning whether they need to be part of CSTO or if they want to move towards NATO. Fucking NATO. Azerbaijan is a NATO ally. Armenia was wondering whether they should be a NATO allied country because Russia couldn't help them. So I think it's also situations like these, you know, why you need to upkeep a proper military. One day you will get to be of use, and if you use that chance well, your relationship with a country you're helping is going to improve substantially. So even if you are a flatland country, still, go and have some cool ass tanks. You're going to be able to give them to someone to save a bunch of lives. Friendly Geordies sounds familiar, but I don't know why, to be honest. So maybe I just got them in my recommended or something. Oh. What do you mean their own security needs? No one's touching Denmark. Nice. Man. It just goes on. Man. Oh. Oh, damn. Nice. Oh shit, nice. Nice, that was good. That was good. Ukrainian reconstruction plans. I have had I followed European Union projects on this. Let me see specifically Ukraine. If you go and check out specifically Ukraine, they do have the news on a bunch of projects that they are currently working on and that they are currently trying to improve. So when it comes to Ukraine, there's a bunch of stuff. Like the last one I've actually read was the one on school buses. When the fuck was the school buses one? Here, 214 buses were given to Ukraine by European Union to safely transport Ukrainian children to school. A great initiative. It was amazing. They do have a bunch of plans. So, you know, if there's something specific you're interested in, that would be really cool to check. But so far it seems they have a bunch of plans, and I'm kind of positive about how it's gonna go. Also, talking on that, H&M returned to Ukraine. They pulled out of Ukraine like a year ago or something, and they returned to Ukraine now. So, I'm hoping we're gonna see more companies which just ran away. I'm hoping we're gonna see more of them return, because every single company returning is a good influence. Oh shit, I'm scared of this. On Ukrainian economy. What is this? Is this the part where they asked about Ukraine? Shit.
Moral clarity. They need to know the difference between right and wrong. They need to know the difference between good and evil. When you look at the situation with Russia and Ukraine, here you have a pro-American country that was invaded by a thug. So when you want to talk about what has been given to Ukraine, less than 3.5% of our defense budget has been given to Ukraine. If you look at the percentages per GDP, 11 of the European countries have given more than the U.S. But what's really important is go back to when China and Russia held hands, shook hands before the Olympics, and named themselves unlimited partners. A win for Russia is a win for China. We have to know that. Ukraine is the first line of defense for us. And the problem that Vivek doesn't understand is he wants to hand Ukraine to Russia. He wants to let China eat Taiwan. He wants to go and stop funding Israel. You don't do that to friends. What you do instead is you have the backs of your friends. Ukraine is the front line of defense. Putin has said, once Russia takes Ukraine, Poland and the Baltics are next. That's a world war. We're trying to prevent war. Look at what Putin did today. He killed Prigozhin. When I was at the UN, the Russian ambassador suddenly died. This guy is a murderer, and you are choosing a murderer over a pro-American country.
Who is that? Who is that? That was whoa. Whoa.
First of all, the American...
I have no idea who this woman is, but I hope whatever she's trying to get, I hope she gets it. Whatever she's trying to reach, I hope she reaches it. Yeah, I checked the comments for a bit. Nikki Haley's fucking based. She's fucking based. Is she going for president? I want her to be the president. I don't know what she is, but I love this. Great speech, based on every single fact. Does go a little bit too much into their little anti-China stance. I've noticed a lot of USA somehow is very strongly anti-China. So personally, I'm not really... How to say this? It's not really my view on this. But everything else, fucking great, fucking amazing. I hope she gets everything she can. Not as bad as I thought. Positively surprised with the Republican view. Nice. Is there more of them who were actually like based? I would be really surprised by that. Don't you think they need to create an atmosphere of transparency to fight corruption, to have a more effective reconstruction? It don't give narrative reasons to be criticized by the Kremlin. Here's the thing. Kremlin is gonna criticize no matter what. Kremlin will criticize Ukraine no matter what Ukraine does and no matter in what way Ukraine responds. When you talk about transparency, for example, a good example of this is the recent very high-profile case in Ukraine where one of their judges was caught for corruption. He was caught for corruption because independent journalists in Ukraine exposed his corruption. This is a great thing. The fact that independent journalists can expose a high-ranking person's corruption and get them to court, you know how fucking good that is? In plenty other countries, Croatia fucking included, those journalists would be gone. We have a journalist here, we're still not sure whether he was killed by the state or if the state was passively watching him die because man got COVID, was in a horrible situation health-wise, no help was given to him. He was calling for help, no one came. He was trying to get assistance to get to the hospital. No one came for him. The fact that independent journalists uncovered a corruption case is huge. When it comes to other things about transparency, for example, weapons being sent to Ukraine, they're all very, very well documented. We already do have organized... What's the word? I keep on forgetting the English word for this, holy shit. But NATO has already organized a group of people who is looking into where this assistance is going and how it is being used. They already have transparency. We have transparency. The issue is that Russia and Kremlin and all of their little idiots, they see the fact that independent journalists uncovered a huge corruption case. And instead of being like, wow, it's fucking impressive that you have independent journalists allowed to be living, we in Russia just kind of give them poison tea and let them die? No. Instead of focusing on that, you know what they say? They say, oh yeah, this is why you shouldn't be helping Ukraine. Because they had a high-ranking corruption case. No matter what you do, no matter how you do it, Kremlin is gonna criticize you. When Kremlin invaded Georgia in 2008, they did it by training soldiers and sending soldiers into separatist areas of Georgia to try and start a war with Georgia. Georgia responded with military. Because Georgia responded with military, Kremlin claimed that Georgia started the war. Because at the time, Georgia was the one responding with official military, while Russia was the one technically not being involved, because technically their military wasn't in the game, because technically what was happening weren't Russian soldiers crossing the border, but it was little green men. When Russia invaded Ukraine in 2014, same situation. They trained soldiers, they sent them to Ukraine. Again, technically not Russian soldiers, because technically they were just on vacation in these areas. Ukraine responded by creating volunteer regiments to fight against Russian invaders. What happened then? Russia claims there's a civil war in Ukraine. No matter how you respond to these pieces of shit, they will criticize you. No matter what you do, they will criticize it. Right now, like a very good thing right now, for example, look at how Russians are commenting under posts of people talking about Prigozhin. If you celebrate the fact that the fucker is dead, they will say you support Putin. If you go, oh, it's very problematic that Putin killed Prigozhin because this is just Putin consolidating power, they will say that you support Prigozhin. No matter what you do, no matter what you say, they will turn it around to blame you for everything bad happening. So no, I don't think that Ukraine should battle corruption, not to be criticized by Kremlin, because I think Kremlin is going to create issues in whatever it touches, and there is no way to avoid critics by them. I do think Ukraine should battle corruption, because battling corruption improves the state, and I do think Ukraine is doing it already. Yeah, also, like, deporting Zelensky, bro, there's absolutely no evidence Zelensky is corrupt for having fucking mansions. Man's a celebrity. Man's a celebrity. But also like mansions all over the world, I would love to see. I would love to see which mansions you're talking about. I would love to know when you say mansions all over the world. I would love to know what number of mansions you think that is. But also he's a celebrity. Like, come on. It's absolutely normal that man has a nice sum of money. He had a job that's like absolutely fucking normal. You wanna talk about corruption? Ask why Putin has his villas. He is the one who never had a proper job. He was a KGB agent. Then he became the president. He never did anything else. Part of large media company? Yeah, that's true, that's true. Oh yeah, I know Hunter Biden's case. Yeah. I do think Ukraine is battling corruption though. Ukraine is battling corruption, and Ukraine is very, very transparent about all the aid sent to them. I don't think it's realistic to demand more transparency when it comes to this, because they already are very transparent. They already are working on battling corruption really, really hard. Plus, they're fighting a war right now. So, no, I don't think, like, even if they weren't, what they're doing is so much better than what many other countries are doing. Again, Croatia fucking included. We fought against corruption for a while in order to get into European Union. Ever since then, we have done nothing. We have done absolutely nothing. The only fight against corruption we had recently was European Union looking at us, being like, you idiots, you fucking idiots. Why are you so corrupt? And then sending their own investigation teams to look into our corruption and to arrest our politicians, because we didn't have the brains to do it ourselves. We know who the corrupt politicians are. We just don't do shit about it. Look at Hungary. Hungary has been corrupt for a decade. They've been stealing every single euro that European Union gives them. Orban has been hoarding all of it. You know, you compare like normal countries right now, not in fucking warfare. Look at their situation, and then look at what Ukraine is doing. They are steps ahead of us. Most of us do not deserve to be criticizing Ukraine in any sort of a way when it comes to their corruption issues, because Ukraine right now is doing so much more than most of our fucking countries. Plus, again, they are fighting a war for their existence. We're not. We are sitting on our asses. And we have no fucking transparency. We have no fight against corruption. Plus, some of us are killing our own journalists for trying to point to corruption cases. How much money can a top-level actor make in Ukrainian film industry? Quite a lot. I mean, a top-level actor makes a lot of money in, how do I say it, compared to average people in every country, right? Like, Croatia is tiny, our entertainment industry is tiny, our famous people are still rich as shit. Especially when compared to an average Croat. The houses they own, the apartments they own, the villas they have, the seaside apartments they are renting. They're rich as shit. Look at Serbian politicians, media stars. Holy shit. Like, it's absolutely not suspicious that an actor is getting so much money. Actors are well paid in most societies. He was invited to dance in front of Solovyov for the Russian TV New Year special. Yeah, and that was like a decade ago, wasn't it? If we're talking about the same video. I don't know, I do agree that there's a lot of things they need to improve, definitely. I don't agree that Ukrainian situation is in any way worse than the situation of any other country. I would say it's even better. So for that reason, I think we like to do the thing. It's like similar to what Amnesty is doing. How they will make a report, and then in the report they will be like, what was their thing on? Was it Amnesty or was it UN? On how prisoners of war are being treated. You guys remember that report? In that report, they talk about how Ukraine is treating Russians it captured rather well. They did note few isolated cases of violence against the prisoners, but overall, when you look at the situation, they're treating them well. They have the normal places to hold them, they give them food, they don't torture them, you know, just normal treatment. Ukraine is doing okay on this field. And then they comment on Russia and they go, well, actually in Russia, there's a system of abusing prisoners. They have a system of abusing them. But we haven't been allowed to look into most of Russia's places for holding Ukrainian prisoners of war, so we can't really comment much on this. And then what you get as reactions from people is them bitching about Ukraine's few isolated cases, rather than being like, bro, what sort of horrors is Russia hiding? Same thing as what happened with daily OSCE reports in 2014. They couldn't even look at most of the fucking border. They couldn't know what's happening in Luhansk at all. They note themselves that they couldn't know what's happening, because few times they tried to look, Russia just shot down their observance drones. They couldn't know. And people will still take that as like some sort of evidence that Russia was not around. I feel like we like criticizing Ukraine a lot because we actually see it as the sensible side in this. So we're like, oh yeah, it can be reasoned with, so we're gonna go criticize Ukraine, but like, I'm not really sure how much that is acceptable when they're fighting against something as horrible as Russia is right now, you know? It feels weird. So we talk about corruption and then it's like, oh yeah, how's corruption in Ukraine? How's corruption in Ukraine? How horrible is corruption in Ukraine? I don't really feel we can talk about this without acknowledging that a lot of their corruption has been caused by the fact a lot of people in their country have been Russian agents. Like, a lot of their corrupt people ran away to Russia when they started. A lot of them just ran away like fucking rats. It's not really, I don't really feel this is a conversation that we can be having properly at the time. But yeah, I think they're doing okay. $11 million? $11 million. Holy shit, nice. Oh, that is a lot, nice. People are more willing to trust an authority figure because they're trying to do that. Yeah, that too. I don't know. Overall, I truly think that Ukraine is doing well. I'm not really how would I say it? I'm not too worried about their future after this, to be completely honest with you. I'll go watch Ukraine segment, and then there's Dylan. You get a little bonus. Because Dylan's there. So it's gonna be the official one.
In small towns and big cities, we're coming back stronger than ever. Manufacturing jobs are coming home. High-speed computer chips are getting made right here.
Oh yeah, I want to hear the Ukraine segment.
Clean energy. There are some who say America is failing. Not Joe Biden. He believes our best days are ahead because he believes in the American people.
Oh, that was actually so good.
America learning how wrong they are.
You're a kind of milquetoast type of like, suit and tie politician ad, but I mean,
it's never ever been a good bet to bet against
Bidenomics.
Leave Biden alone, you fucking loser. Wait, I want to see which one is Ukraine part. I wanna watch Biden. I don't wanna watch him hating on my man Biden.
We should be willing to fight for America here. I will beat Joe Biden.
The person who can inspire this nation to
Sleepy Joe? What's good about Sleepy Joe, you ask? Let me show you. What's good about Sleepy Joe is that back in 1999, Sleepy Joe got NATO to bomb the fuck out of Belgrade. Okay, that's good about Sleepy Joe. I hope he remains president forever, because the longer he is president, the closer that sweet, sweet dementia is. And once he's going to hear about some shit happening in Balkans, he's going to do his little suggestion again, okay? Look at him, look at him. This is my favorite meme in the universe.
Belgrade. I was suggesting that we send American pilots in and blow up all the bridges on the Drina. I was suggesting we take out his oil supplies. I was suggesting very specific action.
He was suggesting very specific actions. Thank you, Biden, for existing.
We bomb Belgrade. I was suggesting that we send American pilots in and blow up all the bridges on the Drina. I was suggesting we take out his oil supplies. I was suggesting...
One of these days, someone's gonna run up to him and be like, Sir, Biden, there's chaos in the Balkans again. What do we do? What do we do? Vucic is causing issues. And Biden's gonna be like, I have a suggestion to make. 152. Let me see. Oh shit! It was before.
In small towns and big cities, we're coming back stronger than ever. Manufacturing jobs are coming home. High-speed computer chips are getting made right here. America is leading the world in clean energy. There are some who say America is failing, not Joe Biden.
Is that fucking Trump?
In clean energy. There are some who say America is failing, not Joe Biden. He believes
cool.
our best days are ahead because he believes.
Not surprised a foreign country wants Biden in power because he sucks. U.S. foreign policy sucks. No. U.S. foreign policy was based on Serbia.
Suit and tie politicians.
That was fucking based. That was fucking based, okay?
It's never been a good bet to bet against him.
Yeah, him not knowing where Balkan is a good thing. Is a good thing. It means dementia is closer.
Oh, wait, are we back? Are we back to the note?
Keep him.
Yeah, we're almost back to the debate. I wanna wrap this thing up. I'm ready. And conservatives and liberals, appreciate that, bud. Good, cause America good. Oh.
I'm skipping over his speeches because unironically I want you to go and watch him. I don't want to be like a vampire. Go and watch this man, give him a lot of cash money, okay? It's up to him.
That number has now plummeted to just 39%. In his pitch to get to the Oval Office, President Reagan called America the shining city on a hill, a beacon of hope and optimism.
So in your closing statement tonight, please tell American voters why you are the person who can inspire this nation to a better day. These are 45 seconds, and we begin with Governor Burgum.
The real issue.
Wait, for a better day? How would you even inspire them to a better day? Oh shit, no, it links me to this one again. Wait, is this previously to this one or like after this one?
Speculating, but fun, isn't it?
In the 7th annual Governor's Conference on Innovation Education,
You know what I could do? I could just do this. Oh shit, no, I couldn't. He doesn't have transcripts. Ah. Well, that sucks.
So, to the education question, how...
Ooh, look at that dip.
Oh, I saw this.
something that would send a lot more than a press release is actually Harpoon missiles. We need
about what has been given to Ukraine.
Ha! Okay.
We'll give you the means to fight them there so our troops don't have to fight them.
Okay, found it. Okay, we're good.
I had the courage to say I'd let our most popular politician off the hook.
Be able to make a commitment, the same justice system that was this corrupt.
Difference between you and me.
Yeah, I'm not a professional politician. That's the difference. Who can answer a question?
I've actually given pardons when I was governor of the state of Indiana. It usually follows a finding of guilt and contrition by the individual that's been.
I don't care about the pardons. Speak to me about Ukraine.
The President of the United States will give fair consideration to your pardon request. But if I may,
what if they have good evidence?
Biden?
Like nobody in that crowd. Nobody in that crowd is even considering that there might, except for the Chris Christie guys, I guess. Nobody in that crowd is even considering that there could possibly, in a million years, be a piece of evidence that could actually prove Trump is guilty. Or if they do know that there might be, they just don't care. My goodness, to just commit to a pardon before you've even seen the evidence. What a bizarre thing.
Vivek?
It shows how inexperienced he is. And you can even see.
Ain't that just dumbass one?
You've obviously never done this before.
Or am I thinking of the other one?
Tier 1 subs, King. I appreciate
I
that.
know about them
Chat,
from Twitter only.
YouTube chat. Thank you.
I'm not sure which one is the dumb one. There's one of them who is being very, very stupid recently.
Please keep off the Ukraine topic for as long as possible. I don't want to hear it.
That the issues
I don't want to hear it.
surrounding the 2020 election and the controversies around January
I don't want this. Give me.
come to this and not come to criminal
Give me Ukraine.
Woo! One of my viewers.
Regardless of that, the specifics of that plan, is there anyone on stage who would not support the increase of more funding to...
Here we go.
Okay, Ukraine.
We would not support it. Europe needs to step up.
Isn't DeSantis also stupid? Wait, DeSantis is the... Is he not also quite bad on the topic of Ukraine? I don't know a lot about USA people. Well, like, aren't both of those two quite bad on the situation? So neither of them having a lead is actually a good thing for us, if I'm not mistaken.
Kansas is putting asterisks, so Vivek is the only one, it seems.
But you're saying you would not...
That's good, though. There's only one. That's good news.
To pull their weight. Right now they're not doing
See,
it.
he's not answering the question. He's dodging it. He's dodging it. It's only
because I did see, people comment on the fact that DeSantis, apparently he doesn't have proper views on anything, is what I've noticed. A lot of people are commenting on the fact that he seems not to have a strong moral stance on anything. So he's just kind of trying to figure out what would get him the most votes. But he doesn't really know how to explain his views properly, because he doesn't have any strong views. Wasn't Ted Zodiac Cruz? Wait, what's Ted Cruz doing? Is he around? I haven't seen him in news in quite a while. He was very, very stupid too. You people are amazing when it comes to your politicians. Just fucking impressive.
Oh, this is great news. It's only the upstart. Beautiful. Beautiful. I'm much happier now.
Do what we need to do with China.
But it's also
Mr.
Trump,
Ramaswamy, you would not
which is the one who
support
will
an
win.
increase of funding to...
I would not. And I think that this is disastrous. That we are protected against an invasion across somebody else's border when we should use those same military resources to prevent across the invasion of our own southern border.
We gotta
in the
use
United States.
dog. What do you even mean?
Russia further into
We're gonna use cluster munitions on border crossings. What the fuck is wrong with you?
offensive. That we have professional politicians on the stage that will make a pilgrimage to their Pope, Zelensky, without doing the same thing for people in Maui or the south
To their
side of
Pope
Chicago or
Zelensky.
Kensington.
Oh, the crowd didn't react well to that. Crowd took that a little differently. Like, oh.
Border instead of somebody else's. And the reality is, this is also how we project strength by making America strong at home.
What a
No.
Wow, the crowd didn't like it.
I did go to Ukraine.
I'm happy to hear that.
Okay, just the fact the crowd didn't go wow, unironically makes me think USA Republicans are a bit smarter than what I thought they were. Like, they did cheer for a while. I don't know why they cheered in the start. That was stupid. But hey, 1 IQ point more than what I expected. Vivek is pro helping Ukraine, but with checks and balances, not like Biden's way. What do you think Biden's way is? abandoning our allies and proving that our word means jack shit. Yeah, it's such a stupid view of this. Such a stupid view of this. If someone starts to cheer, they all cheer. If someone starts to boo, they all boo. Ah, fuck, maybe that too. Shit, okay, you return them back to their little Paniac.
I wanted to see for myself what Vladimir Putin's army was doing to the free Ukrainian people. And let me tell you, I want you all to look around this arena tonight and imagine that every one of these seats was filled. And if every one of them was filled, there would still be 2,500 more children outside to make over 20,000 who have been abducted, stolen, ripped from their mothers and fathers, and brought back to Russia to be programmed to fight their own families. They have
How do you think they make their budget?
cut off their ears and shot people in the back of the head, men, and then gone into those homes and raped the daughters and the wives who were left as widows and orphans.
True.
This is the Vladimir Putin. This is the Vladimir Putin who Donald Trump called brilliant and a genius. If we don't stand up against this type of autocratic...
There was an accounting error though. They counted the worth of the equipment wrongly.
Oh god, it's
there
going
was
so downhill.
An accounting error.
You're gonna bring us in a nuclear war. If you bring attention to the bombs, nuclear war.
Problems here in the United States and be the leader of the free world has a pretty small view of the greatest nation on earth.
Based.
We can do both, Vivek.
Fucking based.
We've been the leader of the free world and the arsenal of democracy for years. The Reagan Doctrine years ago made it clear. We said, if you're willing to fight the communists on your soil, we'll give you the means to fight them there so our troops don't have to fight them. But
yeah, it's funny because like he actually knows the backstory and I'm listening like...
too long for he rolls across a NATO border, and frankly our men and women of our armed forces are going to have to go and fight him. I want to let the Ukrainians fight and drive Putin and the Russians back out into Russia.
I want to just briefly address Pence, Vice President Pence. I have a newsflash. The USSR does not exist anymore. It fell back in 1990. The real threat, you talked about the communists, and the real communists that we have to address right now is the...
Bro, that was such a stupid response.
Vladimir Putin has been saying he wants to re-establish the old Soviet sphere of influence.
Yes, not wrong. How is Mike Pence right?
He is a dictator and a murderer, and the United States of America needs to stand against...
Oh my god!
Based.
I am so surprised how this is going. He's getting clobbered.
Is communist China, and we are driving Russia further into China's arms. The Russia-China military
There's no Sino-Soviet split to exploit.
Nobody in either political party's talking about it, and I am the only non-neocon on this stage. But keep us out of war.
Mr. Vice President, we can't hear Mr. Vice President.
To give Russia
Mr. Vice President.
they've got.
Mr. Vice President.
Give them a promise that Ukraine will never be in NATO, and then somehow China will not think about taking Taiwan. We achieve peace through strength.
Mr. Vice President.
America needs to stand for freedom.
Nice. Nice.
I think we need to reestablish some ground rules.
When we hear this bell, that means your time's done. So, Mr. Vice President, we appreciate your aggressiveness here.
Dude, I'm so happy.
No, he was fucking based.
I'm so happy.
You were mentioned, you get 30 seconds.
So the reality is...
He already responded.
priority for the United States of America.
Are they booing him?
The same people who took us into the Iraq War, the same people who took us into the Vietnam War. You cannot end it. You cannot start another no-win war.
We're not even putting troops
Bro.
on the ground. We didn't start the wars. They started the war.
We could be better using them here at home to protect our own borders, protect the homeland. All right. That will be my top priority in foreign policy.
We gave you
protect
more than the 30
homeland.
seconds in the rebut, so I do want to get to some other people.
Man, he got clobbered. I'm actually, wow, I'm really surprised by that.
Governor Haley.
He had no he got clobbered, and the crowd
Wait,
really didn't look quiet.
the thing with like I don't agree with Pence calling Putin communist, but if it helps all the Republicans support Ukrainians, whatever, yeah. Like I was wondering how he's gonna respond to the communist claim, because I think it's good that he kind of walked it walked around it. He didn't really, at least maybe I need to re-listen to this. Holy shit, wait, my PC glitched. Okay. It feels like he didn't really like call him a communist. He was like, Putin wants to restore the Soviet sphere of influence, which is true, right? He does want to do that. He didn't go too much into what he thinks Putin's ideology is, which I think is a good thing, because I also don't agree with him being a communist. I don't agree with Russians caring about communism at all. As far as I'm aware, Putin didn't even use communism when it comes to his propaganda. He's mostly using USSR as like the continuation of the empire, right? He's mostly talking about the USSR sphere of influence and about how many other countries USSR was controlling, how Russia was much mightier, much stronger at the time. He doesn't really talk about the communism as much. So yeah, I do disagree with him being a communist, but you know, probably farming that sentiment, that's fucking based. That's fucking based, and he should be doing that. Whatever to get more aid to Ukraine, and it's GG.
Didn't buy it much.
You have said of Governor DeSantis that
I'm surprised.
You didn't appreciate it when he initially called it a territorial dispute. Why?
First of all, the American president needs to have moral clarity. They need to know the difference between right and wrong. They need to know the difference between good and evil. When you look at the situation with Russia and Ukraine, here
do you have a specific ideology question? I don't really deal with camps.
So when you want to talk about what has been given to Ukraine, less than 3.5% of our defense budget has been given to Ukraine.
True.
So if you have a specific question,
oh my God, she's citing the
sure.
stuff I tell people to cite. I'm so happy. This is great.
But what's really important is go back to when China and Russia held hands, shook hands before the Olympics, and named themselves unlimited partners. A win for Russia is a win for China. We have to know that. Ukraine is the first line of defense for us. And the problem that Vivek doesn't understand is he wants to hand Ukraine to Russia. He wants to let China eat Taiwan. He wants to go and stop funding Israel. You don't do that to friends.
He did say that. He did say that about Israel.
Which
is, by the way, one of the few things that I might actually have sympathy towards.
Russia, once Russia
but that's one of the things he gets the most heat for.
That's a world war. We're trying to prevent war. Look at what Putin did today.
I am full of joy.
When I was at the UN, the Russian ambassador suddenly died. This guy is a murderer, and you are choosing a murderer over a pro-American.
Man, that was such a good speech.
Yes, the cheering.
That was such a fucking good speech.
You know, Nikki, I wish you well in your future career on the boards of Lockheed and Raytheon. I'm not but the fact of the matter, Boeing came off of it, but you've been pushing this lie. You've been pushing this lie all week, Nikki.
To go and defund
Okay, let me address
why did they always do that?
I'm going to address each of those right now. This is the false lies of a professional.
Man, he's getting clobbered.
Man, that was such a stupid response.
He doesn't.
This is actually making me have some sort of level of like support for Republicans. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how happy I am about that. Holy shit. Wait, Lindsey Graham? What was Lindsey's take? US spent less than 3% of its military budget to help the Ukrainian armed forces. United States spent billions during the Cold War to prevent Russian aggression. We have now spent less than 3% of our defense budget in Ukraine on helping the Ukrainian military, and they have destroyed half of the Russian army. This is the best investment in American security. Ukraine is a great partner. We have not seen such a partner since Churchill. When the Russian invasion began, we were told that Kyiv would fall in 4 days and the country in 3 weeks. This was the biggest misunderstanding of the Ukrainians and the reassessment of the Russian army by our intelligence. I myself thought that the Russian army was better than them. Bro. Okay, based. I didn't destroy the USSR just so you could lick their boot and call yourself conservative. Fucking based, though, just great. Cold War lasted 44 years, yeah? And. Just fucking great though. Fucking great. Let me see if I missed something. If I didn't, we have to go through like other links. Holy shit, but yeah. Okay, nice. Nice. But it's absolutely based, absolutely great. Ukraine war is 1.5 years. Yeah, true, and they destroyed half the Russian military. Exactly. Exactly, my dude. If they got all the support that was promised, just give me a sec. Of course, the Cold War budget would be much larger. Yeah, it's okay that it was larger. It's also okay to give support to Ukraine right now, which has destroyed half the Russian military. Yeah, 3% of the budget for 1.5 years for half of Russia's military. Yeah, like holy shit. It's a great fucking investment. It's an amazing investment, my dude. What I like about Russia is their anti-LGBT narrative and beat your wife legally law. Okay, yeah, that too. That too. I feel like they also have a thing for authoritarians. I feel there's something in Republicans. There's something in how much they like authority. It's almost weird. But it reminds me of this... one of the Ukrainians I follow, she made one of the... I don't know what the post was about, but basically she had a self-proclaimed USA Trump dude in her comments, and at one point he insulted Zelensky as a response to her argument, you know. She actually made some okay-ish claim, and he was there like, oh yeah, well actually your own people protested against Zelensky, so like, and she was like, yeah, like we are a democracy. We can protest if the president does something we disagree with. That is how democracies are supposed to work. And it was interesting because like the whole conversation, he kept on being like, oh yeah, no, you're not supposed to be disagreeing with the president that you yourself have chosen in democracy. Like you're supposed to be agreeing with every their decision because they are representative of the country. And she was like, no, that is not how it works. I think that inherently kinda USA Republicans just like having authority in the government. It's a weird little outlook, but I think they like the idea of Putin ruling over them. Like you know how they had those shirts with like Russia and bullshit? I think they like the idea of having someone with authority, just kinda, I don't know, slap them on the ass a little bit. Political cuckoldism? Hey, yeah, like that. Like that. Political cuckoldry. Yes. They're basically the Sneeko of politics, right? That's basically what they are. Interesting way to exist. Why are my alerts so huge? What the fuck? My alert thing is a bit broken. My alerty thingo is a bit broken, but hey, yo, welcome. Sources? Hey, I haven't seen the sources. Fuck, where do I have the chat? Trained to be serfs for centuries. Republicans or Russians? Who are we talking about now? Which group? Or like both of them. Could be both of them, I guess. To brain that to understand what real democracy is. It's like legally elected and legitimate president cannot do no wrong and make some unpopular country fucking decision. Yeah, it's like that. It's, I don't know, a very, very weird thing. I remember for a while, most of my feed was filled with Ukrainians being like, why are Americans surprised we can criticize our leadership? Like, why is this a new concept to them? And really, it was, like, you look at it and you are like, why are you surprised? USA, like, come on. US fucking A. Half of their fucking media relies on criticizing who they have in leadership. Whenever you get some huge news coming from USA, if it's like coming from very, very popular sources, right? We're not talking about proper news. We're talking about very, very popular sources that people massively click on, right? It's mostly just criticizing whoever the fuck is in power. Why are they surprised that like Ukrainians can criticize Zelensky in the same way? What there is like confusing to them? Caveman mentality of wanting a strongman leader to protect you because you feel unsafe or whoever. Oh, yeah, that too. That's true. And then they don't know what the caveman, what a strongman leader is. I actually have a good analysis, but I don't know how. Are these my bookmarks? One of these. I'm gonna find it. Was it you? I don't know which one it is. But there was a really, really interesting analysis on how Putin thinks this is a sign of strength. And in the same way, when he broke Minsk deals, he thought that was the sign of strength. When he broke Steinmeier, he saw that as a sign of strength. Whenever he breaks a deal, he sees the deal as a sign of strength. He sees breaking it, like... Zdravo! Šta Ju! Ćeš se razbit? Zahvaljujem. Šta ima? Ništa, čekala sam da nam se javi, pa neš. So whatever he breaks, he sees it as strength, but whenever he actually manages to fuck up a deal, he sees that as a good thing. He sees that as superiority in this. So very interesting overview overall, and also very interesting considering the fact that lots of Russians right now, if you see lots of Russia supporters, you will see them gloating over the fact that the deal was broken. Yeah, I got free coffee, my dude. I got free coffee for lighting the fucking fire downstairs. Ask Gonzalo Lira about it. Bro, Gonzalo Lira was literally first of all, going to Ukraine on some very suspicious ideas. But then also, I'm pretty sure Gonzalo was part of the, what was it, the group which was wanting to reveal the locations of air defense. It was Donbas Devushka who betrayed him. I remember when Donbas Devushka first got uncovered, I think it was Sarah who was posting about this. She was posting about how Donbas Devushka gave information on a very high-level propagandist, Russian propagandist currently in Ukraine. It was Gonzalo Lira, right? She gave a bunch of info on him so she wouldn't be fucked in the ass because she had been working with a bunch of Russians and Russian collaborators. There's a group. They basically share information between themselves. There's also a part of the group, so when it comes to... I don't know how much you follow the news on Ukrainians getting arrested for collaborating with Russians. Recently, it was uncovered that basically one way that they do this is they will message random people online asking them for like a little bit of information, and then in exchange for this information you get a little bit of cash money, right? And the information would be something not even that bad, right? It wouldn't be something horrible. It would be like if you have some old videos, old photos of you know, some sort of action in your city, give that to us, something like that. It doesn't seem too sus. So people who want a quick buck, they fall for it. They're like, okay, this is a foreign journalist, he wants news, I'm just gonna give him the news. So they give this to them. But they don't know that this is also revealing the locations of Ukrainian military, right? So they give him this information, they give him like the videos of air defense work and whatever. And then the person who has them for this info is like, oh damn, now I can blackmail you. And that's what they do. They keep on blackmailing them. They're like, oh yeah, if you don't send me the newer videos, I'm going to report you to Ukrainian authorities and you're gonna end up in jail. And this keeps on going and going and going until, you know, someone from Ukraine figures out who the traitor is and they get him locked up. But there's a whole scheme about getting this information from Ukrainian civilians. A bunch of people were in on it. I don't know how close Gonzalo was to the whole situation. I do know he got arrested. At the time, lots of conversations about this were happening. But yeah, currently we're waiting to see exactly what piece of shit did. He did, though, praise the Russian invasion. He did support the Russian invasion. Just by doing that, my man, in most countries during wartime, you will be arrested. This isn't about fucking free speech. Like a fucking rat, because he knew what if some locals heard what he's saying, you all should be invaded and die, basically. They would fucking clobber him. Yeah, that too. That dirty ass fucking apartment too. With that weird little toilet. It's just... I don't know, using him as the argument is ridiculous. Oh, and also considering the fact that man is doing okay. Like, well, he got arrested. Of course he did. But like, that's it. Nothing else is happening to him. He claims they wanted to torture him, which didn't happen. He claims people wanted to kill him. Also didn't happen. He's making up this like whole horror story about what's happening to him. Nothing's happening to him. He had the fucking ability to try and escape all over the border to Hungary. Man's in okay health. Man's doing okay. Yeah, he got arrested for being an idiot and doing criminal shit. Of course he did. As he deserved. But like, bro, it's not like they're trying to assassinate him or whatever the fuck. So, I don't know. Wait. But, hey! Wait, Berlin? Whoa. Crash site of a plane that reportedly carried Wagner leader Evgeny Prigozhin is visible in new satellite imagery of Russia. Bro, where's my... His name's Korochenko. I need to remember his stupid ass name so I could make a file on him. Yeah, as far as I know, he did get warned, and then he was like, "No, I'm just going to continue to speak my mind on this." And then he got fucked in the ass. But look, I trust... Was it Snyder who said it? He had a very, very good speech on how Russian propagandists themselves are basically playing a part in this genocide by excusing it and by glorifying it and by encouraging it, right? Russian propagandists themselves are playing the part. They should all rot in jail. So the fact that Gonzalo is now rotting in jail, I don't know, it's weird to me that like people are crying about it. From my perspective, not only should he be rotting in jail, all of them should. Like, why are you complaining about the first one? This should be just the start. Free speech country, bro. Free speech country, the fuck do you mean? The fuck do you mean? They don't block free speech. Man's literally supporting the genocide of Ukrainians. What are you talking about? Like, the hell are you talking about? Free speech countries must be allowing people in the fucking country to support the genocide of people in the fucking country while the country is in a war? He didn't disappear, my dude. It's a very dramatic ass take. It's a very, very dramatic ass take. It's like it's like how people complained the first time that he was arrested before his little trip to Hungary. You remember that? People were like, "Oh no, where's Gonzalo Lira? Did Ukrainians already kill him?" There were the ideas that they executed him right after filming the video, so that they published the video on purpose, so people would be talking about video and they wouldn't be talking about where the man is. Do you remember those theories? Because I remember the fucking conspiracy theories. And then what happened is he was silent for a while. That's what tends to happen when you get arrested. He was silent for a while, and then he posted a series of tweets about his attempt to go into over the border into Hungary. Like, as far as I know, he got arrested again. I've got no idea where piece of shit is. But claiming that a man disappeared when he just hasn't had a presence online is quite silly. Like, oh no, my man is not posting on Twitter, he must be dead. Or, you know, he's just in fucking prison and doesn't really have access to Twitter to support the genocide of Ukrainians more. How's that not the more believable alternative for you? It's just weird.
Учитывая, что поставки F-16 будут сопровождаться массированными поставками современных систем ПВО, ну, здесь открывается окно возможностей, каким образом поражать. Конечно, самый оптимальный, простой и эффективный способ – это нанесение тактического ядерного удара. Ну, скажем, боеприпасом порядка 100-120 килотонн. Пойдет ли на такой сценарий ситуация российское военно-политическое руководство? Ну, мы не знаем. В то же время известны слова, которые сказал министр иностранных дел России Сергей Лавров, что определенные версии F-16 могут быть носителями тактического ядерного оружия. И воспринимать такую угрозу, по крайней мере, с точки зрения Смоленской площади, мы будем соответственным образом. Поэтому это один вариант. Второй вариант – нанесение ударов бетоннобойными боеприпасами. Ну, есть у нас такие по указанным компонирам и бетонным долговременным сооружениям аэродромного типа. Но здесь стоит вопрос преодоления системы противовоздушной обороны Украины. У нас есть ракеты, которые предназначены для уничтожения, в первую очередь, радиолокаторов стрельбовых, которые входят в состав современных комплексов ПВО. Это ракета Х-31П. Перехватывать ее крайне тяжело. Очевидно, нам надо уже планировать соответствующие операции, исходя из того, что придется применять указанные типы ракет для уничтожения и патриотов, и других систем и комплексов ПВО западного производства для того, чтобы выбивать глаза и уши. Собственно, и основной контур управления – это стрельбовые радиолокаторы комплексов ПВО западного производства. Ну и также хотелось бы еще отметить…
Dude not posting on Twitter doesn't mean that he got murdered, okay? Wagner? Putin was the owner, Prigozhin CEO. Were they making claims in revenge? Prigozhin was the... Technically, okay, Utkin was the founder. Prigozhin was the owner. Putin was financier. Putin was paying for it. Putin was technically controlling Prigozhin, who was controlling Wagner. The entire value of Wagner added to the Russian scene is that Wagner could do war crimes that Russia didn't have to claim as their own. It's similar to Girkin and his little band of Nazis marching into Ukraine in 2014. Whatever Girkin and his men did wasn't technically done by Russia. Even though Russia was supporting them, Russia trained them, Russia supplied them, Russia paid them, technically they were not part of Russian military forces, therefore technically they were not connected directly to Russia. Same thing with Wagner, right? So Wagner goes into Africa, butchers up a bunch of countries. Technically you can't blame Russia, even though Russia knew about all of this, funded all of this, sponsored every single fucking action. Technically they're Wagner, which is a private group, and they're not really, you know, Russian military. So that was the worth of them. Prigozhin then was against some of the actions that Russian Ministry of Defense was taking. He did try to rebel against them. Here comes the famous march towards Moscow that he was trying to do. He was trying to rebel against what Russian Ministry of Defense was doing. He failed in doing so properly, and now he was killed for it. The reason, like when it comes to talking about revenge, I don't know if you're talking about Wagner getting revenge for Prigozhin being killed by Putin, or if you're talking about Putin killing Prigozhin out of revenge. When it comes to Putin killing Prigozhin out of revenge, it was because Prigozhin made him look weak. Prigozhin made him look weak, and Putin decided to kill him because Prigozhin was not as loyal as someone that close to Putin should be. That was the only reason for this. The ideas of Prigozhin posing a danger to Putin's regime, I don't buy them for a second. I don't buy the idea that if Prigozhin was allowed to hold more power, he would have allied with opposers to Putin and he would have done another march. I don't buy into that idea at all. The only reason why Putin did this was because he could. That's that. He could. And he can. And right now what you're going to see is Wagnerites crying about this for a little while. You're gonna see Grisha looking like a little bitch on stream for a few days more. Where the fuck is Grisha? And then right after that, what you're going to see is nothing. You're going to see nothing. They will do nothing. They will forget about him. Ask them about Prigozhin. In a few months, they will not know who he is. They don't give a shit about their own. So yeah. Childish mistake to using mercenaries on war. The thing is, he didn't want to make it known this is his war. The whole point of sending little green men in Georgia and in Ukraine both was that it wouldn't seem like Russia is involved in the war. So he needed to use mercenaries because he needed to figure out a way to send in troops which weren't his troops, but technically, but also were his troops. He needed to figure out a way to take away responsibility from Russia. In the same way, he needed Wagner for Africa. He needed them to go and butcher people. He needed them to go and slaughter people in Syria and in Mali and to start uprisings. He needed all of this. He couldn't send actual Russian military there. If you send the actual Russian military, people are gonna accuse you of, oh, horror, being imperialist. So you can't send the actual Russian military. What you need to do is send someone else that you fully control. But technically, they're not your own men. The office does not forgive. See, shit like that. It's like how he is playing into the idea of being a strong man. How he's playing into the whole thing of like, oh, I'm so strong. I am so strong for breaking all of my deals. I am so strong for shitting on everything I touch. Oh, the office does not forgive. Oh, that sounds very, very strong. I don't even know if he actually like said that, but it does sound like something I would read his supporters be saying around. More effective than the Russian army? Yeah, because they did have a lot of war criminals in the ranks already. So that gives you a higher level of effectiveness. They had a bunch of war criminals in their ranks already, but also Prigozhin was very, very corrupt as a man, as every single higher up in Russia is. But Prigozhin had his own military group, which was Wagner, right? So when Prigozhin was being corrupt and when Prigozhin was stealing cash money, he would be putting that cash money into personal projects like Wagner. When Shoigu was corrupt as shit, he wouldn't be putting money into Russian military. He was corrupt because he was stealing from the Russian military, right? So Shoigu getting into power didn't necessarily make people under him stronger because he was the one taking from them. While Prigozhin getting into power also meant that he was funding his own private military more and more and more. He basically just had more cash to put into his troops. And even on that level though, it's important to remember that his troops still couldn't be compared to USA troops at all. Wagner is the classic Russian case of having strong fighters if you are willing to sacrifice a lot of your men for tiny gains. Higher casualty rate, yeah. He was willing to sacrifice a lot of them. They did manage to take Bakhmut, for example. They did manage to do that. But man, how many men they lost, holy shit. And they are okay with it. Wagner is okay with it, right? Wagner doesn't give a shit about their own. You're going to see it now with Prigozhin. Wagner doesn't give a shit about their own. In like a week, they're going to forget all about this. When Prigozhin was toasted they started making posts about Wagner going to Moscow. We don't need this war, bullshit like that. In a week, they're going to forget it. They're going to forget every single part of this. Russians don't care. They don't give a shit. Don't you think Putin was misinformed about Russian army capacity to fight? Oh yeah, definitely. He has caused a lot of corruption in Russia to happen. I do think that the reports he was getting definitely were and still are way more positive than what they actually should be. Yeah. Writing a satire and having your name associated with every shitty leader for hundreds of years after your death. Oh wait, you're talking about Machiavelli? Well, actually, I kind of wonder how is Machiavelli connected. Huh. I was thinking of the other dude. I haven't read all Machiavelli's works, my dude. I haven't read all of them. What I did read was interesting, though. Kaya Kallas? Shit, what? Why? What did she do? What did Kaya do? What did Kaya do? Oh, her husband is involved in Russia-linked business. Has connections with a firm doing business in Russia. News is raising eyebrows given the sanctions on Moscow and the Estonian government's hard line against its eastern neighbor. Oh. Okay, so he has a firm. He is part of a firm which has shares in Stark Logistics, which is a firm which is still doing business in Russia. Okay. I'm okay with the scandal. Her husband should get the firm to pull out. Gave interviews where he looked quite satisfied with the Russian army. So either he is misinformed or we are, or it's him. It's definitely fucking him. Like the question of, oh, is a dictator in power who is regularly killing people quite close to him? Is he misinformed on the actual abilities of his state? That's a question you should be able to answer quite easily. Of course he's fucking misinformed. Of course he doesn't know the hell he is doing. Their own goddamn mistake should be enough of a proof with that. A 3-day war, as a result of which Moscow is having to be very careful on today's date, actually, because they have warned civilians not to be outside too much because they're worried about the possibility of Ukrainian drones flying into Moscow again and fucking some shit up, okay? Doesn't seem to be going too well for the man. Doesn't seem like he is too informed on anything, really. And also he got rid of Prigozhin, so I think that by itself is like a very, very interesting thing. Going well for Russia, going amazing. Going fucking amazing. Playing on repeat tonight. Bro, fucking cruel. Hey, Finland! Did we see Finland? Guess what? Here's the absolutely. Oh, nice. Nice. Feel the Finnish snipers. Nice. Oh, that's good. That was good. That was good. Kosovo. Kosovo. Don't know how much you follow the situation in Kosovo. Kosovo is, they're trying. Oh, Tbilisi. They're trying to move closer to the west, and it's going okay-ish. The counter-offensive is going well. The counter-offensive is going absolutely well. Thanks video for Croatia. I don't even know, to be honest. We started going through all of the thanks videos. Reached Norway. We still have Germany, and then we have Sweden, and then we have Czechia. Maybe Czechia is first. Oh no, there's Slovakia, there's Poland, there's Lithuania, there's Latvia, there's Finland, there's Australia, there's Japan. Okay, was Japan first? Was Japan first? I guess. Yeah, these are the older ones. So no Croatia. No Croatia. Probably because of our president. We cannot deserve it. We cannot deserve it, my dude. Man. Offense with some kind of snow ninjas. Yeah, there's... How do the jokes go? $7.6 billion. Oh no, I don't think... Oof. I don't think Prigozhin was any danger to Russian regime. I don't think Prigozhin was in any sort of a way, any sort of danger to the Russian regime. I did see people cheering him on. I think Russian cheering is useless. I think basically, the way I see this is kind of like Russians are complicit with whatever the regime does. I don't really think there's worth from their cheering, and I think this one can very, very easily be proven by the fact that Prigozhin just got fucking toasted. Man just disappeared in a giant barbecue up there in the sky, and you know what the Russians who cheered for him, you know what they did about it? Nothing. They wrote some bitchy telegram posts. Nothing. Their cheering means nothing. Their words mean nothing. Little coup attempts mean nothing. Their little protests, they mean nothing. Russians are complicit with the system that they live in, and they will do nothing to try and change the system. They did nothing to like support him going towards Moscow. They could have joined the march. They could have pushed it forward. Nah, they were on the street being like, "Yay, Prigozhin," and then they went home to watch the news, and that was it. They did nothing. I don't think Putin was a danger. I don't think Prigozhin was a danger to Putin's regime. I don't think there was a real chance of him replacing Putin. I don't think Putin was scared of Prigozhin. I do think that this was just, yeah, he was a reminder for Putin about his weakness, and that is why Putin chose to get rid of him. And that's it. That's like the whole thing. I don't think there was any other danger for Putin in that. I saw someone commenting on the fact that it seems like a lot of the West is incorrectly seeing Putin as a man trying to lead his state into a better future. So a lot of the things that they claim he is doing, it comes from the idea of him trying to save Russia. When that's not what he is trying to do. That's not what his plan is. He doesn't give a shit about Russia's future. He just wants to keep himself in power. He's more of a mafia lord than anything else. He doesn't care how Russia is going to be doing in the future. He doesn't care how Russia is going to be developing. If he cared about that, he had plenty of years to stop his bullshit and to keep the cooperation with the West and to make Russia into a proper, prosperous, strong country. Oh, Navalnyists are the same shit as Putin fans. Navalny is the same thing as Putin. Navalny supports the annexation of Ukrainian regions. Navalny is basically the planned opposition at this point. There's an interesting thing to observe in the fact that Navalny had been speaking out against Putin, had been put in prison, is still speaking against Putin from the prison, and he's doing alright. At the same time, Prigozhin, who actually showed Putin as weak, was gotten rid of quite quickly. He absolutely is planned opposition. His team is worthless. Have you looked at Navalny's team? His team is worthless. There's not one person in that team who's actually doing something. They're all fucking useless. When Navalny got the prison sentence 3 days ago, you know what his team did? Have you seen what his team did? They brought a bunch of lights to the, was it the Russian embassy building in New York? And they shone a hash light on it, saying Free Navalny. Navalny is rotting in jail, and the only thing his supporters are doing is trending Twitter hashtags. They are useless. They are planned opposition, every single one of them. Each and every person part of that team is planned opposition. They believe they're doing something. In reality, they're doing nothing. They're complicit. They're doing absolutely fucking nothing. Into war scenario, as the Soviets won that war and forced Finland to sign a peace agreement on their terms at expense of Finland territory. What was that referring to? He was not in danger, he was in danger, yeah, based. Reincarnation of very imperialism that Russia is accusing the West of. Absolutely. Absolutely, abso-fucking-lutely. There's nothing worthwhile about Navalny. How much you Google that? Wait, where was I? I wanted to look at some stuff. This one specifically. Tbilisi. Bro, that's a huge flag. Whoa, that is huge. Russia should give Karelia back. Yeah, no, I agree with that. That is true. Once China gets balls deep into Russia to take, you know, their territories back, I'm hoping you get the chance to do the same. Just to take your lands back. What's Russia going to do about it? Cry?
І зверталась до країн світу щодо літаків, ми не це мали на увазі. Скажімо відверто. Ви знаєте, коли Україна говорила і зверталась до країн світу щодо літаків, ми не це мали на увазі. Скажімо відверто. Ми мали на увазі зовсім інше, і ми хотіли підтримку, хоча, напевно, це також в якомусь сенсі слова точно допоможуть. Що стосується, ну, більше ми не маємо відношення до цієї ситуації. Це точно. Я думаю, всі усвідомлюють, хто має відношення. Ви знаєте, коли Україна...
Nice. You know what it reminds me of? Russian political opposition, whenever I think about them. That one woman, I had her name saved somewhere. That one woman who was arrested protesting against the Russian invasion. She was arrested protesting. Ekaterina Morozova is her name. Ekaterina Morozova. She was protesting against the war. As a result of protesting against the war in Moscow, she got arrested. This is her, by the way. She got arrested. After she got arrested, she left for Poland. After she came to Poland, she started denying Russian attempted genocide of Ukrainians. She never was real opposition. She was there to prance around in Moscow for a little bit to get attention, so they can be like, hey, look, we do have opposition in Russia to some Westerners, and then, hey, look, we do arrest opposition in Russia to their own people. Then she nicely went to Poland as if nothing had happened and continued on her little bullshit. They don't have opposition. It's the same thing as Navalny team constantly sharing their own propaganda about this shit. It's the same thing as Navalny team arguing that Russia shouldn't be forced to pay reparations because he wanted to be on a good side with Russia, and we should remove all the sanctions on Russia as soon as they get rid of Putin, so Russia could be a prosperous country. Yes. It's the same as Navalny team saying that Ukrainians made a mistake in 2014 Maidan because they didn't go to attack Russia too. They didn't go to help Russians get rid of Putin, despite the fact that during Maidan, not only were Russians not looking at this being like, maybe we should also protest against our president, Russians were doing fucking anti-Maidan protests. Did you know about that? They were doing fucking anti-Maidan protests. And then you have, what's his name, Volkov? Is it Volkov? Volkov made a claim that Ukrainians, when they protested in 2014 to get rid of their president, they should have also helped Russians protest against Putin, despite the fact that Russians had nothing against Putin at the time. They were GG with Putin. Russian opposition doesn't exist. They're all on the same side. Hey, happy birthday, Taiwo. Happy birthday. Hope it's going great. Hope it's going great. I keep on being mentioned in Skade France and I keep on getting notifications about it. For some reason. It is a failed state. For me, most of the Russians are guilty as well, based. Most of them are guilty. Most of them can't be trusted, and it is not your job to be looking for a good Russian. It is not anyone's job to be looking for a good Russian. You got friends in Russia who are opposition members. I very much doubt that. I very much doubt that they are any sort of opposition. It also reminds me of Meduza. Was it Meduza? They did that interview, or was it Novaya Gazeta, who did the interview with Russian liberals, and then they asked them, hey, how do you think this war should be ending? And they said that it should be ending with some sort of Russian victory. None of them agrees with Russia losing the war. None of them agrees with Russia being demilitarized. None of them agrees with returning territories to Ukraine. They all want Russia to win this. There is no Russian opposition. Ukraine should help to get rid of Putin. Why should Ukrainians die for Russian freedom if they don't want it? Yeah, I don't know how they even... I don't know why he made this stupid ass claim. I don't know what he thought the reaction is going to be. That the Ukrainians are going to be like, oh yeah, that's actually true. Oh, that's actually true. I'm actually so sad about the fact that we didn't go to help. Like, no, bro, come on. Skade, mate. He seems really into specific types of propaganda, personally. Very, very into interesting sources. I don't know how productive that would be. I think my experience with Grisha kind of pushed me away from everything. You can't hope to become a leader of a country after admitting that its people committed war crimes, genocide and other atrocities. So you got to live in denial. It's actually an interesting claim. That's an interesting idea. So like anyone who wants to realistically have a chance at getting some sort of power in Russia in the future, they must be denying what is happening during this war. That makes sense. You can just purge the country. Kasyanov didn't really have too many opinions on him, to be honest. If you mean the... I know the name. That was basically my whole thing. Didn't really have too many opinions on him. Birthday party? Hey, good luck. But yeah, I need you to be aware of this. I need you to be aware of this. Oh yeah, she was a human rights defender. That too is what I wanted to let you know. She was a human rights defender, and you know, then she was kicked out, went to Poland, started denying the genocide. Here is her protesting in Moscow. This protest, again, two-sided thing. One side is turned towards the West, and it's saying, hey, Westerners, look, a good Russian. A good Russian in Russia. Maybe we shouldn't sanction them. Maybe there's hope. And to Russians is saying, hey, guys, look, this protester got arrested. So it sends a very strong message to both of them. And it works because you still have Westerners fucking looking everywhere trying to find a good Russian, and they are very, very desperate to try and find opposition to support, despite the fact that there just isn't one. There isn't one. Navalny is not a fucking opposition. If you want to fill Putin's shoes, you can't be hated by the whole country. That makes sense. He's not against the war. Wait, no, I thought you were talking about Navalny. Talking about Kasyanov? Maybe could be a future president. I think whoever is future president of Russia, I don't think anything is going to change on the account of, I think Russian people are shit. I come from the position that Russian people are shit. I come from the position that Putin rules Russia because Russian people want Putin to rule Russia. They are complicit with everything he is doing. They are complicit with all the ways he is choosing to hoard his power. They are complicit with this war. Russia is a democracy. When it comes to Moscow, St. Pete, which are the only areas whose opinions matter in the whole situation, right? Russia is a democracy. You can give them any sort of a leader, they would still be shit. They would still be imperialist little fuckers. Same way, look at Serbia. Serbia in 2000 successfully overthrew Milosevic. So in 2000s, they successfully did the bulldozer revolution, successfully overthrew Milosevic, right? At the time, people were like, wow, look at Serbia improving. Serbia finally got rid of their warlord. What a great country. No. No, because Serbian culture never changed. Serbian imperialism never changed. Serbia had years of voting after, and they landed on Vučić. They landed on the same type of imperialist warmongering shit that they used to have in 2000s. Serbia is a democracy. And in the same way, Russia is a democracy. In the same way that Hungarians are having democracy right now and they're choosing Orban. I think a lot of times we see shit leaders of a country and we like to imagine that they were somehow placed on their position by some outside force or whatever the fuck, but it denies the reality that some countries just have a shit fucking culture. Moscows fully support what Putin is doing. They're absolutely okay with it. The largest protest they had was like in 2012, if I'm not mistaken. They did nothing at the time. They did absolutely nothing. Oh no, I actually think it's okay to generalize, to be honest. I'm GG with generalization. It's not my job to look for good Russians. Ain't my job to look at that country and be like, oh damn, where are the good people in Russia? Huh, I wonder which one of them could be going to replace Putin. There's not a single one. Whenever you find one of them you think could be replacing Putin, look into their history, look into their opinions, look into their movements. You will find something. You will find some stupid shit. Or you will find that he is not supported by enough people to make it close to any sort of a leadership position. There's no point. No, the war is not Putin's and Dugin's and fanatics. Normal Russian supporters. It's normal Russians who volunteered to go on to fight in this war. It's normal Russians who did crowdfunding and who are still doing crowdfunding, my dude, to support Russian military. It's normal Russians. When we had Russians in Germany attacking Ukrainians on the street, it was normal Russians. That's what a normal Russian is. When you have them now, have you seen like 2 days ago? Was it 2 days ago that they shared those posts about that little girl killed in Ukraine? And most of the reactions were fucking laughing reactions. That's what a normal Russian is. When Ukrainian cities are being shelled and civilians are being killed, and these people cheer for it, that's a normal Russian. When Nova Kakhovka got blown the fuck up, and they were trying to make up reasons as to how Ukraine somehow magically could have done it, that's what a normal Russian is. Percentage of people that really support Putin? Absolutely majority. Being complicit is supporting Putin. Being silent is supporting Putin. Sitting on your ass while your country is attempting a genocide is supporting Putin. Every single Russian not doing a goddamn fucking thing about this is complicit. And that is most of them. And don't even get me started on those ones actively doing harm, because there's a lot of them actively doing harm. Like, just speak to the fuckers, my dude. Just speak to the fuckers. The majority of them you will have an interaction with is going to either be making excuses for this war, or they're going to be supporting genocide. Or like both at the same time. They say they don't like Putin, but you ask them, okay, so who does Crimea belong to? And they will make up a way on how to spin the story so it belongs to Russia. They say they don't support this war, but you ask them, hey, how should this war end? And they will tell you it should end with Russia getting the areas it claims to have annexed. They claim they don't support the war, but you ask them why did Russia join the war? And they will tell you that there was a civil war in Ukraine that Russia responded to. They claim that they don't support Putin and they don't support the invasion, and they do support it. The majority of them absolutely is like that. If you want to have faith in Russian opposition, good luck, my dude. Because I know I mentioned this like every few streams, but there's videos from February last year. So when the invasion started, there's videos of people sharing clips of like a few random Russians who were speaking against this war. And people were like, look at Russian opposition, finally waking up. The Russian society is going to stand strong. And it's been more than a year at this point. They did nothing. They did nothing. Bro, they weren't affected by sanctions before. When they butchered Chechens, no sanctions were applied. When they butchered Georgians, no sanctions were applied. When they invaded Crimea, when they invaded the eastern Ukraine, we still kept on doing business with them. Our politicians kept on chilling with Russian politicians. My dude, Putin literally paid for Le Pen's presidential campaign. If you just look at the list of all the Russians who worked in our energy firms and Europeans who worked in Russian energy firms, at the list of European politicians who were writing for Russia Today, who were writing for Sputnik, we gave them cooperation and they still chose to remain a shithole. I don't think it's the business of any of us to pretend like Russian opposition exists. If there is Russian opposition, they have a nice little chance to show themselves. That's it. Apart from that, I don't think we should care about them. Most Russians support the war right now. It was not the case at the beginning. I also disagree with that. I think they supported it from the start. Again, they had anti-Maidan in 2014, which is when their invasion started. Driving around with a Z on their cars. Why they're wearing Zoom merchandise? Yeah, that too. Holy shit, Wagner. Fucking Wagner match. How much cash money does Grisha get from his idiots? Do you risk your freedom, even your life, to end the war in the country? If my country was doing it, I would be expected to protest, or I would be complicit. Yes. If your country is doing it, yeah. One guy from Moscow, when Russian missile hit in Kramatorsk and killed a lot of civilians. On LinkedIn videos in Telegram and he typed Z. Holy shit. I don't think Russian army will kill civilians after seeing a video of them killing civilians. Holy shit. No, being pro-Ukrainians and Russians living in peace while Russians are attempting to genocide Ukrainians is a delusional position. No. Peace can come once the Russians get fucked in the ass, returned to their own country, and once they pay reparations. That's when we can allow Ukrainians and Ukrainians only to speak about peace. As a person who is not Ukrainian, as a person who is not in Ukraine, neither me nor you have the right to call for peace between these two countries. Tsarevich Dmitry, that's a Polish history. Oh, my man, I'm reminded of that. Have you seen those fucking protests in Moscow? What's the name of that dude? Isn't he also? I follow this one, a Russian content creator. Fuck, you reminded me of his post about the protest in Moscow. I wanted to show it to you, but I can't remember his name. Who? Oh no, I blame the normal Russian. Man, look at my president! Former president, but still counts as a president because the current president is shit. What? But yeah, Russian government represents the normal Russian people. They also wouldn't prefer to live in a country more similar to Germany. That's a lie. Russians think democracy is weakness. They wouldn't. I don't know if you haven't seen them talk about the democratic countries or what is the issue. Didn't Solovyev have a whole fucking sketch about how hard it is for Putin to have diplomacy with Western countries because they constantly change their leaders? Was it Solovyev? Like, oh, Putin is trying to have a good relationship with France, but it's really, really weird because France keeps on changing who their president is. Like, but yeah, I don't think they would prefer to live in a country more similar to Germany. One of the evidence I have for this is the fact that there's plenty of Russians in Germany fucking it up. They had protests to start the Nord Stream 2. It was like a day or two before Nord Stream 2 got blown the fuck up. They had protests in Germany to start this project once again, despite the fact that Russia was attempting to genocide Ukrainians at the time. They attacked Ukrainian refugees several times in the country. Didn't they hold a fucking march on this? They held a fucking march in support of Russia. Normal Russians are absolutely complicit on this. Chodzi mi to diczka? Memed in Poland with our hobbyist president about getting the relations on another level. She was the best president we had. Best president we had. Convince Russians to support Ukraine over Putin. They will not. They will not. It's, I mean, GG for you for having hope in Russians. I absolutely don't believe they would be supporting Ukraine over Putin. I genuinely don't believe anything similar to that is going to happen at any point in a Russian close future. Maybe like if they get fucked in the ass and then sanctioned more and then they have to pay reparations, and then maybe in a few generations, and that's also questionable. But like, bro, they had the St. Petersburg summit literally had flags of Russia, Russian Federation, USSR, and the Russian Empire. What are we talking about? My ex-working colleagues are German Russian, and I would say 80% are for Putin. My mother met one German Russian, and he was summoned to go to the military. I don't know if he went. He was summoned to go to the military. It was a weird thing too, like talking about it, because she was like, oh yeah, he wants to save his family. He has to go because he doesn't want his family to suffer. But like his entire family is in Germany. What do you mean? So then it was like, oh no, he actually wants to go because he doesn't want to be thrown in jail. But like, you're gonna be killed if you go? And then basically the last opinion expressed on it was he doesn't want to go, so maybe he has a slight condition or something, so maybe they will not, maybe he goes to Russia and then checks out the paperwork, and then they don't allow him to go because he has like a slight mental condition. And I was like, bro, my man, you haven't seen Prigozhin if you think a slight mental condition makes Putin unwilling to use you on the battlefield. Holy shit. 70% Putin fans, Estonian Russians, so like all of them, just most Russians, that's it. Holy shit. Holy shit, holy shit. Just goddamn ridiculous. The thing is, when you talk about the future of the country, when you talk about the sanctions applied to the country, when you talk about reparations that the country will have to pay, when you talk about who is likely to become the next president of a country, when you talk about who is the actual political opposition and what the political opposition is counting, what you need to do is look at either the majority, like I would say in some situations you could look at the minority able to make numerous enough and strong enough to make some political decisions. Opposition in Russia ain't close enough to either of those. Opposition in Russia is not close enough to either of those. The fact that there's like 5 or 10 Russians that you know that are helping doesn't change the fact that Russians volunteered in humongous fucking numbers to go and fight this war. Doesn't change the fact that for years they have been spreading around Russian lies about the reasons for invading Ukraine. Doesn't change the fact that they are complicit with Putin being in power. They did nothing to protest against the man, and their support of the man remains high. And I do know there's questions about the polls and everything, but like, dude, if you look at the numbers of Russians who went out to protest, it's ridiculously low. It is goddamn ridiculously low. It was ridiculously low again in 2012. It's not like this is somehow a new thing. It's not like all of this time Putin had been normal and now suddenly we're getting the taste of what a piece of shit he is, but now it's too late for Russians to turn around. He has been this way since 2000s. He has been this way since the Chechen War. And they were okay with it. There's like sources from the fucking Chechen War of Russian mothers begging to be let known about their sons' location and whether their sons are alive or not, because Putin would just send their sons there to die in Chechnya. He did nothing. The Kursk submarine accident, where people were dying for who the fuck knows how long, and he refused to send any sort of help. Russians did nothing. Russians did nothing in years of Putin being a piece of shit. They wouldn't do anything now either. Baptist church nearby, where actually only German Russians go. Whole community helped many Ukrainian refugees, and one even went to Ukraine, picked up Ukrainians. Nice. Man who went to Ukraine is my ex-colleague and a Putin fan? He loves Putin and still is able to help Ukrainians? What? How? Damn, that would be interesting to like meet the dude. That would be fucking interesting. That would be goddamn great. Like how do you do both at the same time? How do you exist? Is it the idea? Fuck, now I wonder how he exists. Is it the idea? You know how some people are like, oh, we should be accepting Russian refugees because the fact that they chose to run away from the country means that they don't actually support leadership and they don't want to pay taxes to Putin. So we should welcome them in our countries. Is that the idea? Does he support the war? Like, oh, I should be helping Ukrainian refugees because more Ukrainians should be dragged out of Ukraine, so there's less Ukrainians there to pay their taxes and to help save the country. That's like legit the only way I can combine being a Putin fan with still wanting to help. I don't know how else. Ooh, or like proxy war, but 9,000. Right? Being like, yeah, I'm a Putin fan, and because I'm a Putin fan, I don't think Putin was to be blamed for this war. I don't think Putin carries any responsibility for this. I think Putin is entirely innocent, and he was pushed into this by evil NATO. And therefore, technically, these Ukrainian refugees are victims of evil NATO, and not actually victims of Putin. So I'm helping them because they are victims of NATO. Maybe that. I don't know. It's such an interesting combination of beliefs to have. Also, dudes, holy shit, it's 12:11. I still haven't played you my videos. Still haven't played you my videos. Oh, have you seen this?
A few moments later.
Я понимаю, все нормально. Тебя никто не... Передаем привет пану Зеленскому. Спасибо за чудные машины.
Idiot was going into war all happy, and look at him now. Little malnourished vodka-soaked minds. There is a great holy tsar that is never wrong and does everything, and there are those pesky, lying, corrupt boyars that undermine every good thing in Russia. They lived like that forever, so they don't even know the difference. Man. Oh, I see that. I see that. I see that. I'm trying to find a way to compare them to Serbs without, you know, making it very, very obvious that I'm fucking pissed off about Serbs existing in the way they do exist. And ironically, I'm fucking pissed off about Serbs. I'm pissed off about Serbs. I've been watching Serbs and the way they communicate about politics online these days. I'm fucking pissed off about them. Their protests are goddamn useless. They started well, they started amazingly, and recently they've gotten people who are just like protesting for the sake of protesting. They don't have any proper demands that they want. People have started doing the whole thing with like meme writings during the protests and everything. Most of them don't even know what demands they have for from the government. The one good thing that I'm seeing is that they are waking up to the futility of attempting to keep Kosovo. And some of them, tiny numbers, are aware that the current problems are only and solely to be blamed on Serbia's own government. But like, man, most of them are going to be like, oh yeah, the West doesn't like us because of Kosovo. The West doesn't like us because Ukraine told them not to like us. The West doesn't like us because Croatia. It reminds me of that so much. It's like there's always some foreign agent in a country that has to be making the country shit. And this is always used as an excuse when you could just look towards your own government and look towards your own representatives and just notice them being pieces of shit. Like my man Vučić was literally under Milosevic. He had power under Milosevic. He was one of the men who made the information law at the time, which was supposed to be punishing people for spreading anti-government propaganda, which basically meant that you couldn't write about mostly anything. Like one of the journalists commented that he is technically not allowed even to comment on specific topic he wanted to write about was how good kindergartens are in Sweden. And he was like, I'm not allowed to even comment on this, because if I write in the newspaper about how good kindergartens are in Sweden, some people in Serbia could feel sad about how shit kindergartens are in Serbia. And then I'm gonna get arrested, because making them feel sad about the shit state of their own country counts as anti-government propaganda. And Vučić was one of the men who worked on this law. They voted him in. He's dragging the country to shit. And they keep on blaming everyone else. They keep on blaming the Albanians. They keep on blaming the West. They keep on blaming the Croats. They never blame themselves. Like, they're the ones who voted him in. They never blame themselves. It's such a stupid thing. Yeah, добрый дан. Yeah, they have very interesting ways of explaining the world to themselves. It's beautiful. Look at this though. Beautiful. It's beautiful. Yeah, it does. There's something. Don't know if I want to say wholesome. Talking about Serbs being fucking idiots. There's something, yeah, wholesome about the fact that we all share the same type of idiots, isn't it? Like, you can hear about Serbs being extremely stupid, and you can be like, oh yeah, my country kind of has that too. We kind of have people who make the same arguments. It's not, you know, Serbs blaming Kosovars, but we do blame other groups in society for something that we have fucked up ourselves and we are unwilling to admit. But by the way, this one, the initiative of young fascists of Serbia is launching a petition for the erection of a monument to Prigozhin and the transfer of his remains to Serbia. This one is mocking the fact that, like, they don't know what to think for now. So, like, some of them are happy that Prigozhin died because they see it as Putin being very strong. And some of them are sad that he died because he is a Russian fascist and he died. They still haven't gotten the directions necessary to know what they are supposed to be saying. So they're kind of waiting to see what Putin says, and then based on that they will form their stance. I need English. I need English. I'm a dumbass. Happy big European family, my man. Hey, давай! Nice. The USA one, I saw the part on Ukraine. I thought the woman was really good. I supported the woman. I don't know the woman's name. I can't. Nikki. I support her. May she win. May any one of the base ones actually win. They had more based opinions than what I thought.
Ukraine is still independent and free. Ukraine is still independent and free.
If that's the debate you are referring to. Yeah, Nikki, she seemed based. very supportive, very strong, proper American patriot. I'm a fan. I was waiting for a video of him falling straight down from the sky. You're still watching yesterday's Thompson stream? I'm gonna just go watch the new one, so... I also loved the raid recommendation yesterday. I think it was Kim who gave it. Kim, thank you so much. The dude was great. I enjoyed the stream so much. Nikki is a demon? I think she was based on Ukraine. I don't know how she is on domestic issues in USA. But she was very based on the topic of Ukraine, very based on USA support to its allies. She was doing amazing. She was doing amazing. Thompson got banned on YouTube. Man, I laughed so much when he said he got banned. I didn't expect it. My man speedrunning. My man speedrunning, getting banned off every single platform, okay? Kick is next, and then he will have to go to like TikTok, I guess. Instagram, maybe he starts live streaming on Instagram. Twitter Spaces. He's gonna start doing Twitter Spaces. Nikki Haley? She was based on Ukraine. I don't know her other stances. I don't know what else she believes in. Tokmak! Whoa. But I do know that her opinion on Ukraine was great. Through Social and Rumble. Oh shit, yeah, I forgot about those. My man's like, it was an accident. Facebook! What a week, huh? What, Nick? It's on Wednesday. Russian warlords are getting shot out of the sky, and Russian infantry are drinking their own urine on the front lines. But Medvedev is more worried about community notes added to his tweets by armchair Pep Lord. Vivek seems to be getting a lot of favor with people, but his study with geopolitics is hardly elementary. Nikki is pro-war, just like all the other Republicans. It's just about which way. There's a big difference in being pro... I don't know how you would... how you would say the other Republicans are doing it, starting new wars or whatever the fuck. But there's a big difference between starting wars in other parts of the world in order to keep your area of influence, and the situation in which the war is happening and there's one side trying to genocide the other one and you're helping the victim. I would definitely not agree this is a pro-war position. Oh, and in her other positions she might be. She might be. When it comes to Ukraine though, I think supporting Ukraine is the most anti-war position you could be having, to be honest. Pro-war versus pro-strong military. Pro-strong military though, it kind of sounds like supporting Ukraine isn't pro-war. Supporting Ukraine is anti-war. Supporting Ukraine is the most anti-war position you could be taken. Supporting Ukraine is the most pro-peace position you could be taken in this. But yeah, I don't know her opinion on like other wars or her opinion on other interventions. Like if she supports some bullshit interventions or whatever, I could see it. So I guess like I would need to learn more about her. I don't know. I do know she's based on the topic of Ukraine though. So that's... Wouldn't strong military though, wouldn't pro-strong military also be feeding the military-industrial complex? So pro-war versus pro-strong military would be basically like two very similar things. Like what's the difference between the two? If you have a very strong military already not helping your allies, when, you know, one of them is in danger of being genocided by one of the biggest enemies of your state. It feels like not helping them would be a stupid ass fucking decision. Pro-war is when you salivate at the thought of bombing some random country. Could see that. Like wanting to have foreign military interventions to keep your area of influence or to expand your area of influence. That would be pro-war, right? So like starting military uprisings in other countries or invading other countries and annexing their territory. I feel like that would be a pro-war position, right? Does she have thoughts like that? Fuck, I could just like look it up. I could probably just go and Google her to see what she thinks. And also then we have to leave. Positions. Oh, there's a whole Wikipedia on that specifically. Hey, nice, thank you. Foreign policy, social policy. Let me see. Against human rights abuses against Uyghurs in Xinjiang by the Chinese Communist Party. Okay. Some countries were shielding Iran by blocking the International Atomic Energy Agency from verifying Iranian compliance with the International Nuclear Agreement with Iran. Okay. Oh, sorry, Iran likened Haley's presentation to that of then Secretary of State Colin Powell before the 2003 invasion of Iraq. So I guess that entire part, right? Okay. Oh, US military could be deployed in response to any further North Korean missile tests or usage of nuclear missiles. She believes Kim Jong-un understood this due to pressure by both US and China. She said Kim was in a state of paranoia after feeling pressure from the US. Stop firing ballistic missiles or face the consequences, but the consequences were sanctions. Russia. Sanctions against Russia for its Crimean conflict would not be lifted until Russia returned control of the region to Ukraine. Based. United States will retain sanctions strong and tough when it comes to the issue in Ukraine. Also based. She stated the US would no longer focus on forcing Syrian president to leave power. This was a policy shift from former President Barack Obama's initial stance on Assad. She said Russia, Assad, and Iran have no interest in peace, and attacks similar to this would continue occurring should nothing be done in response. You're still at the war, we're just not shooting at each other much? What do you mean much? How much is the shooting happening? On April 12, after Russia blocked the draft resolution meant to condemn the chemical attack, Haley criticized Russia, saying we need to see Russia choose to side with the civilized world over an Assad government that brutally terrorizes its own people. She credited President Trump's warning to Syria with stopping another chemical attack. I can tell you, due to the president's actions, we did not see an incident. There's ways to say this which are way better than the way I'm planning to say it, but I think most of the opinions she has I can understand. I am quite iffy on her support of Israel. Like, I would love to see... Was that part of the presidential debate? I wonder if that was a presidential debate, because that's an interesting position to take. So that's the one that I'm interested in. When it comes to the rest of them, I'm like... Okay. I'm okay. I'm not too against her foreign policy views. Ugh. Pro-lifer. Confederate flag, death penalty. Ooh. Supports death penalty. Ooh. LGBT issues. Immigration. Voter ID laws. I actually see this one. I see this one. When it comes to most of her other views. Oh, okay. She said she would not support a ban on Muslim immigration to the United States should President Trump choose to enact one. Okay, okay. I doubt Nikki chose the US policy towards the Assad regime by herself. Okay, yeah, that's fair. That's fair, that's fair, that's fair. It is an okay view, but yeah, true. It depends on how much it was actually her own and how much it was just following someone else's decisions, maybe would be a good way to say it. That's true, that's true, that's true. Hey, by the way, I have to leave. Holy shit. It is 8:32. It is 8:32. I planned to leave the stream at like 8. I planned to leave the stream the second Thompson starts streaming, and it doesn't seem to be... Brian's not streaming. Well, that sucks. The rate, if you have someone, absolutely. If you have someone, absolutely, absolutely. Yesterday's raid was really, really good. So I'm very, very interested in today's one. Although it was fucking hard for me to try and follow what was happening. Man was... Wait. Oh yeah, I'm in proper... Shit, I got scared that I was in kick. Lefty pro Russian loser. Oh, Zach? That one? What are they talking about? Update me, Platya, let me know what's here. Happy Independence Day, Ukrainian regime, lots of good news and more. Aww. Nice. Boys, if you know Ukrainian, here's a raid for you. If you don't, go to Thompson. I'm gonna try to chill here because I really want to start understanding Ukrainian, but this is very, very interesting to me. It means it's not important. Really? Come on. He speaks with Russians on chat relay. Oh shit! Was he the dude in those memes? Who was the dude in those memes? Who was going to chat relay to speak to Russians? He was under occupation for like 2 months in Mariupol. Holy shit, my man, is he okay? Is he doing all right? I assume he's not okay, but I mean like overall. Holy shit. Okay, here's the link is. We're going to the raid, and then we're going to do the raid, and I've given you the kick link for those of you who don't understand the language. So wherever you go, you will be making a great fucking decision. Okay, you will be making a great fucking decision. Sumi is okay. Understanding these things will be gold. I'm trying so hard. Why is it getting raised by one people? Holy shit. I'm trying so hard to get like the feel of understanding Ukrainian a bit more. It's actually doable, to be honest. It's doable, but man, it takes effort. Holy shit. I didn't even know it would be this hard because our languages are relatively similar, right? But it is. It actually is. We need someone to translate in chat all the time. But yeah, we're gonna be waiting for you to just in real time write everything. By the way, raid in 5 seconds. See you tomorrow. Thank you for joining me.